10:01, good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. Titans rookie minicamp begins this weekend. The team announced on Monday Robert Saleh will meet with the media Friday at 11:45. Practice will start at 11:15 with the Titans' 8-man draft class and UDFA signings. In NFL news, the Steelers are placing the right of first refusal tag on Aaron Rodgers. According to ESPN, it gives Rodgers a chance to accept a 10% raise off last year's salary, and the Steelers would have the right to match any offer. Nashville Soccer Club hosts Mexican club Tigres tonight in the first leg of the CONCACAF Champions Cup semifinal at Geodis Park. The second leg next week in Mexico City. Kickoff is at 7:30 on FS1. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning. Welcome in to 104.5 The Zone. We're happy to have you. We got a lot of stuff to get to today. Lucas just told you the Titans are just going to turn around and have a minicamp. Get these guys in town and put them on the practice field post-haste. So Friday and Saturday, going to be back out there at Vanderbilt Health Football Center. Going to have to commit that to memory. It's still Ascension St. Thomas. I'm sure it's still Baptist Sports Park to a lot of people over there, the Titans practice facility. Either way, minicamp on the horizon, looking forward to that. We have a little bit of news that is Nashville-related, if not Titans-related in the NFL. Robert, read the Ian Rappaport tweet because I'm scared.
No, you got it.
No.
I've told you how to say his name like 14 times.
Fagnano.
There you go.
I'm very scared of Joey Fagnano's.
Fagnano. UConn legend, baby.
You in particular are coming to the microphone with way too much confidence.
I've been saying his name for a minute.
I know you have, but it still does not inspire confidence. Joey Fagnano, a quarterback from UConn, has just agreed to a 3-year deal with Robert Walsh's Baltimore Ravens. Now, why is that of relevance? Windhorse fingers, please.
Diego Pavia is there, I suppose. Wonder if he's landed in Baltimore yet. Not sure when rookie minicamp's supposed to start.
He was invited to Ravens rookie minicamp, and he is also a quarterback. And Joey Fagnano, the quarterback from UConn, is the one to get a 3-year deal from Baltimore here. So where does Pavia go?
And he can still get a gig.
He could.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities that he ends up getting a deal as well. So their Ravens rookie minicamp is May 1st through the 3rd. So he's got a couple days.
There's also, Ramon pointed this out to us. I don't know if they covered it this morning. I'm sure they did, or at least touched on it. This headline on NFL.com, undrafted Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia could become a Baltimore Raven or a Winnipeg Blue Bomber. So this is something that apparently they're citing ESPN sourcing on, that Diego Pavia, invited to the Ravens rookie minicamp, has also drawn a significant amount of interest from the CFL, the Canadian Football League. If you're Diego Pavia, do you stand to have greater longevity? I'm not saying that you shouldn't try and make the NFL thing work. Like, take every opportunity that you get and try and make it as an NFL quarterback if you are hell-bent to play quarterback and only quarterback at the next level. I don't know that he's even big enough to play another position. It's not like he's Taysom Hill. How big is Taysom Hill? Taysom Hill 6'3", at least?
I mean, yeah.
6'2"?
The guy's able to play tight end in the NFL.
Right. So it's not like he's just, Diego Pavia cannot just become football player extraordinaire the way that Taysom Hill is thought of. You try to make the NFL thing work in whatever minicamp. If you can get a deal out of it, great. But if you're him, you likely have more longevity in the CFL or the UFL. I don't want to call them sideshow leagues. They are professional football leagues, but he's a bit of a sideshow, isn't he? So why not lean full in and make a great career out of it, in all likelihood?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he is a sideshow in that Like in what way? In that the off-field stuff garners more attention than the on-field stuff?
No, I don't think the off-field stuff garners more attention than the on-field stuff.
Because that's when you say sideshow, I get what you're trying to say, but to me, that's like what that is to me, where he has that every turn, proven it on the field.
Yeah, I guess I just think of him a little bit like one of Robert's wrestling acts. You know, like he's this character in the ring and outside the ring. He's Diego Pavia. It comes with not two different personalities. He's the same person. Obviously, I guess I'm just doing a poor job describing this. I just think of him as a personality being a little bit of a sideshow.
I don't know if he is the dynamic that you want in an NFL quarterback room, like we talked about yesterday. But go make a great career for yourself in Canada, man.
Wherever.
Like if it doesn't work,
Sure.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers have his exclusive rights to sign him. So if he's going to play in the CFL, it's going to be in Winnipeg. I can't imagine why it is the UFL, right? This USFL, XFL merger.
Yeah, it's been the UFL, I think, for now 2 years.
Yeah.
When did The Rock buy it? It's The Rock and his ex-wife or his current wife that are business partners in the UFL. I don't want to misspeak on that.
I don't know.
That feels like an important thing to get right.
Doesn't Pavia feel like a home run for that league?
Yeah, if you had to invest in a player who's also a character, because I would be compelled to watch Diego Pavia in a UFL game. I don't know how many I'd watch, but I would watch at least one or two Diego Pavia performances in the UFL. I'm not watching that league.
And
really.
I legitimately wonder if Diego Pavia, what he would prefer, to be in an NFL QB room as a practice squad quarterback, or to be a starter in the CFL or UFL. Like
I think he wants to be a starter in the NFL.
Well,
right?
Sure. I understand that. But when you talk about the realistic career possibilities right now for Diego Pavia, and he has overcome the doubts at every single turn, and he should absolutely have the chance to compete, and he will. But ultimately, if he's met with that crossroads, I imagine he would still pursue the NFL route, but I don't know. I mean, I do think the dude could be a star in one of those other two leagues.
I'm not laughing at your opinion. I'm laughing at the idea of somebody coming to Diego Pavia with realism and him, seriously considering realistic possibilities as somebody, to your point, who's defied realistic possibilities at every turn to become Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much feedback he would listen to, right? It's at the early onset of this, because he could be stubborn about it and try and commit fully to the NFL thing as much as humanly possible. Or he could go the opposite direction, not quite the opposite direction, still be a pro football player, but I think really give a little bit of juice to one of these leagues. Who's the most dynamic UFL player you could think of?
Oh, Lord, I have no idea. All I know,
immediately he brings some kind of name recognition to the UFL.
Who's the face of the UFL?
Well, I think you remember the Ole Miss quarterback, Jordan
Matt
Ta'amu?
Corral?
No. Jordan Ta'amu.
Ta'amu. Yeah, he's been in that league he was in the USFL, and he's been playing in that league for a while.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they won the championship, the Houston team. It's either the Houston team or the DC team that he's on. But they won the UFL championship last year. I only know that because he lives here. I've known him a little bit.
Matt Corral, I believe,
that might be a fine.
is still playing in the UFL. I know A.J. McCarron is the head coach of the Birmingham Stallions.
Knew as soon as I said that.
No, who was there was a wide receiver, tight end that signed with the Steelers last year. He didn't do anything for them, but he was awesome. He led the UFL with receiving last year.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
I don't remember his name neither, but he was good.
So yeah.
The season is going on.
Diego, no, I know. I see it on ESPN. I'm like, what is this?
Right.
And then I flip to another channel looking for NBA basketball.
Oh, my God. You know who the leader in kick return yards is in the UFL? LaVisca Chenault Jr.
Oh!
For the Birmingham Stallions.
I thought he was going to be like a fun gadget player for the Jags, and that never happened.
Shout out Chris Rowland, local guy, Ravenwood High School, TSU Tiger, is the UFL leader in all-purpose yardage this season. And Former WKU quarterback Austin Reed is the passing yards and touchdowns leader
So
for Dallas.
There are names that you could be reminded of if you went through UFL rosters.
But there's not a face of the league.
Diego Pavia immediately becomes, you want to be the third string, maybe, quarterback for the Ravens? You want to be the P squad guy, or you want to be the face of a league?
I want to be the practice squad guy.
You?
Yeah, I don't want any pressure on me. Just go ahead and give me the money.
Okay, but the way you carry yourself and the way that person carries himself a little different.
What do you
Actually,
mean? Full of dignity?
Not that different.
Full of dignity.
No, it's more confusing why you carry yourself that way as opposed to Diego Pavia. But
like Alex Moran in Blue Mountain State.
Yes, I would.
Best job in the world.
I
baby.
would maybe backup kicker.
No,
is
that's
the best
Lucas.
Job.
Lucas is the backup quarterback.
Now, what do I do then?
I'm still trying to figure you out.
Nah, I feel like I would have to do
What's
something.
the center's name? What's the lineman's name? Billy Bob or whatever the hell?
It's a totally different movie.
Same thing.
No,
Same concept.
I'm not that big. He almost dies in that strip club parking lot. I'm not that big. I would have made it home. Wish they were open for another hour.
615-737-1045 is the number. We also have a great new nickname for Lucas. Gerardo, I believe, is responsible for this nickname. Go ahead, Gerardo.
Yeah, speaking of big, guys. So, Lucas, Mr. Panchica, I want to extend a olive branch to you, sir. I'm a big soccer fan like you are. I know I respect you a lot. I really hope that this nickname that I just happened to come up with when I just happened to look over at the Zone TV and just caught a glimpse of something that kind of just made me think of it. And I just know, man, that it's all love. It's all very peachy, voluptuous, plump love coming from my end. And just know, man, that I have a lot of respect for you. And I really hope that this nickname that just happened to come out doesn't stick, and you are from here on known as Lucas Pan Chica. It's all love. Thanks for the time, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Gerardo. I'm sure it won't follow me everywhere now.
Luke Ass.
I appreciate it.
Panchica.
Panchica.
I'm working on a nameplate right now.
Luke Ass.
I am just here for your entertainment, Gerardo.
Well, something is.
Stand up. Stand up and turn around right now. The stream numbers are down. We need the
I mean, the
numbies.
stream numbers are down. The stream numbers are fine.
We need the numbies, Lucas. All right, Lucas is going to
Don't
stand.
talk about the numbers. Don't talk about the numbers. They are incredibly down today. I could clip this.
Oh, no.
And send it right down to Atlanta,
It's sexual harassment.
where our Cumulus HR overlords reside.
Oh, my God.
And I could have you removed from that control room.
I know people.
I have that power.
I know people, too. And they could cut off access to your email so you couldn't hit up Atlanta. And then you'd just be stuck here. So,
I'll drive there.
While we debate the merits of whether you should or shouldn't, I think you should just stand up and do a jumping jack facing the wall.
I also need to know your thoughts of being objectified by another man that way.
I think he likes
How
it.
do you feel? I had secondhand embarrassment for you.
I'm used to it.
Just a piece of meat. Go ahead. Give him what he wants.
What's in it for me?
We're
You can't-
waiting.
I'm not going to break until you do it.
You'll have to watch. Okay, maybe we can go to break and I'll leave the cameras on.
Don't give him an out.
And maybe Lucas would walk back there to get some peanut butter that he is thicker than
Where
just
you
to
go?
snack on.
What, do you have stage fright?
Just do that.
Okay. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. 615-737-1045 is the number. Great song. So, as we get ready to continue draft coverage, obviously, or post-draft coverage, you've got Titans rookie minicamp on the horizon. A lot of teams getting their minicamps going this weekend earlier than usual. Usually it's around May the 10th. They said, no, well, let's get them out on the field right away. Maybe it's because they've got a new head coach and they can start to do things earlier for the sake of having additional minicamps before they get to the voluntary stuff. Either way, Titans are on the practice field in an open session on 2 days for media to attend. So you get all your practice video fixes of Carnell Tate in his new Titans practice uniform. Keldrick Falk, Anthony Hill, all of these guys, and as well as players who have been signed as UDFAs and rookie camp tryout players. So that will take place this weekend. So we can talk more about the Titans rookies later on. But let's talk, Lucas, about where the Vols landed in this draft. Beyond Jermod McCoy, who we did talk about a lot yesterday, first-round talent falls to the very start of the fourth round, where the Las Vegas Raiders take him while he continues to deal with a different extenuating knee issue.
Yeah, Colton Hood ends up being the first Vol off the board, which, yeah, to your point, was not necessarily expected. He goes 37th overall. The Giants, who I guess had a need at corner that they did not anticipate. It is widely reported the Giants expected to re-sign Cordell Flott. Instead, he signed with the Titans. So Colton Hood goes to New York, where there will be plenty of opportunity. Chris Brazzell, for me, the most important Tennessee player for the Vols program in this draft, 83rd overall to Carolina. I kind of like that landing spot for Brazzell, right? Carolina could use some wide receiver help outside of Tet McMillan. It was really him and Jalen Coker.
Bunch of giant dudes out there running around for a diminutive quarterback.
Yeah, true. They are absolutely overcompensating there with the wide receiver room. But Xavier Legette hasn't brought what you expect from a first-round draft pick, even if it's in the back end of the first round. So I think there will be opportunity there immediately for Chris Brazzell. Tennessee just needs one of those guys to hit, man. Just one wide receiver to translate. And it would help if Chris Brazzell, it's a tall task, but if he didn't need a bunch of time to get acclimated before finding his way in the NFL, right? If he can be a productive player and he can go ahead and, be a great second option for Bryce Young in 2026, just to erase some of that stigma that is very fairly placed on wide receivers coming out of that Josh Heupel offense, I think it would be huge for the program. But good landing spot for him at 83rd overall with a rising quarterback in Bryce Young. Joshua Josephs goes in the 5th round to Washington, and Tyree West goes in the 6th round. The 6th pick of the 7th round to the Detroit Lions. So that's 5 Vols. It ties a high under Josh Heupel. The first question I had was, what will that look like in 2027 for Tennessee? I think Tennessee may have less draft picks in 2027 than they did in 2026. And I don't know that that's such a bad thing because it's a young team still. And when you look at the highest ceiling players from an NFL perspective on Tennessee's roster, it could very well be whichever one wins the quarterback battle. Neither of them will be draft eligible after this year. Chaz Coleman, if he can, figure out the off-field stuff, is the highest ceiling player defensively for Tennessee. He's not going to be draft eligible after this year. Mike Matthews could certainly work his way into that discussion as a wide receiver, but as we know, the wide receiver class is loaded in 2027. It could very well benefit Mike Matthews to wait until 2028, especially if, we'll see if he has a big enough year to decide he should go ahead and go. So Arion Carter, David Hobbs, there are plenty of guys that will be eligible and will move on next year, but I do think there's a chance Tennessee has less than 5 taken next season. And then Joey Aguilar landing in Jacksonville.
Jagular.
Yeah, as a UDFA.
So we will see what happens with, obviously McCoy is going to be the one that brings the most scrutiny nationally for his injury stuff coming in, especially with Vegas. Just a quick aside. Well, actually, let's talk about this and then we can do that aside later if I remember to get to it. I like, as you mentioned, the fit of Brazzell in Carolina. I think that makes a lot of sense. How are people feeling about the Carolina Panthers who just came off a playoff do I even call it a playoff run? They made the playoffs.
Yeah, they made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs.
They hosted a playoff game.
At 8-9, they hosted a playoff game. They won their division by nature of 7,000 tiebreakers at the end of the year for that division. And Bryce Young is a number 1 overall draft pick. I bring Bryce Young up because I think, a similar trajectory worth watching for Cam Ward is somebody like Bryce Young, who's not in the best situation and who may not be your Joe Burrow, Peyton Manning caliber of number 1 overall pick at quarterback. Not to say that they can't be good players, but that they're on a different kind of trajectory than some of those other guys who are taken at the same draft slot. I'm curious to know how Carolina is feeling about that quarterback and that team right now. It feels like that's a division that could go any direction.
Yeah,
because they were 8-9, right? It's not like they won it by a comfortable margin.
Yeah, and there were 3 teams that finished 8-9 at the end of the season. The Panthers just happened to have the tiebreakers.
NFC South is always like a weird science experiment. I don't know that it's good, but it's entertaining, I feel like, at the end.
It is. I mean, look around. The Bucks will continue on with Todd Bowles. The Mike Evans era is over. The Panthers will try and continue this ascendancy with Bryce Young. The Saints kind of are what they are. We'll see if they can get off the ground.
The Saints are the same team forever.
And then the Falcons have Michael Penix and Tua Tagovailoa in the same quarterback room with a decent talent roster around them, especially offensively. So I enjoy the NFC South because I enjoy the chaos of which of these 3 teams with the losing record is going to get to host a playoff game. So we'll see if it's the same story in 2026. But the Panthers are an interesting piece of that.
So you mentioned the 5 players who were picked in the draft. There were also, let me count, 7 UDFA signings, including Joey Aguilar. So Dominic Bailey goes to the Texans, Bryson Eason to San Fran, Miles Kitselman to Detroit. Jalen McMurray signed here. Tennessee Titans reported as a UDFA. Jackson Moy to the Rams and William Wright to the Broncos. Are there any of the UDFAs that you are interested in other than the one that's here?
Yeah, obviously Jalen McMurray with a chance to kind of compete in the cornerback room. Played a lot of football, was a 5th-year senior, nickel corner, doesn't have great size. He's a quick player. He's a good tackler. And if he can just work his way into training camp, I think that'll be a plus for Jalen McMurray. But his size may hurt his chances at this level. Jackson Moy going to the LA Rams seems to be the home for Tennessee defenders that are playing above expectation, I would say. Byron Young has had a really nice start to his NFL career, 3 years in, coming off a 12-sack season. And I don't think any Tennessee fan expected Jalen McCullough to become a consistent starter on the back end for an NFL contender. But that's what's happened in the Rams secondary. And now Jackson Moy, the defensive lineman, heads to L.A. William Wright, too. It's cool for him to find a landing spot. Started as a walk-on. I mean, that dude was playing key snaps at the end of the 2022 Alabama game where Tennessee just had no depth whatsoever. As a walk-on, he wasn't even on scholarship. And fast forward to now, he gets an opportunity in Denver. So that was cool to see. But curious what Aguilar's ceiling kind of is. Going to a QB room with Trevor Lawrence and Nick Mullins, a really established and experienced starter.
So you mentioned the idea that they may not have as a program as many draft picks as they did this year's. That after this year's 5 players picked from Tennessee, that's 22 players total drafted under Josh Heupel during his time as the Vols coach. Is that the kind of trajectory? Do you think that's a selling point for them? Or do you think that, that's a number that next to some of these other SEC programs, and really, I mean, who's more pissed off in this year's draft, watching this year's draft, Ohio State or Clemson? Because you're looking at all these players getting picked and like, how? I mean, Ohio State obviously was still competing.
Yeah, and they got
at a high level.
They got their title with those guys. Like all those Ohio State guys that got drafted got a title. But yeah, Clemson, man.
Oh, I mean, just watching that draft, losing your mind. All I'm saying is, can you cite that 22 over how many seasons has Heupel been the coach? Is that 5?
Yeah, started in 21.
5 seasons
so this
since
will be
Josh
year
Heupel's
6.
been the coach. Is that a selling point? Because it feels more like you could knock that if you wanted to.
Well, of course, you use it as a selling point because you are putting players into the league. And, of course, other teams can use it as a selling point against you, right? Because you haven't maybe put enough teams into the league. Or, teams like Georgia can use that selling point more to their advantage than you can.
Yeah.
Right? So it kind of varies.
So what's the greatest advantage that Tennessee has in a situation like that? If you're trying to get kids who are going to be, the highest caliber, that to offer them a path to the league, how do you sell that if you're Tennessee over another one of these programs, understanding that recruiting is still going to be a part of how you're going to acquire players versus what you can offer them in the transfer portal?
Yeah, and the thing is with the wide receiver discussion, very fair criticisms of how that offense does not translate to the NFL. And again, it feels like we have to remind people Josh Heupel's job is to win games and produce at the college level, not to have an NFL offense. However you win games at the college level is what will bring you success. It has not really dramatically altered Tennessee's ability to get high-level talent at wide receiver. I mean, Mike Matthews came in as a 5-star. He's going into the second year in the system. Tristan Keys just arrived on campus as an early enrollee, 5-star prospect. The 4-star out of Brentwood Academy. Forgive me, his name is escaping me. I literally did one of his games last year. Former Oregon commit and just committed to Tennessee. Really, really high-level prospect, high-ceiling player, athletic traits off the charts. It's not impacted their ability to bring in that sort of talent because all they've done is...
Bowman, last name Bowman?
Yeah, Keyshawn Bowman.
Keyshawn Bowman.
All they've done is put those players in position to get their opportunity in the NFL, right? So if you're Tennessee, you're telling guys, listen, we're putting you in position. What you do after that is entirely up to you, not to mention the NIL backing that comes with that. But it would benefit you more, obviously, for one of these guys to take that step. And none of them have been in a great position in the receivers. Cedric Tillman in Cleveland with a carousel of quarterbacks. Jalen Hyatt with the Giants. Dante Thornton 1 year on a bad Raiders team. But, man, it would help if Chris Brazzell just hit the ground running in Carolina this year.
615-737-1045 is the number if you want to chime in. You may get to this at some point in your SEC observations when we get to them later this week. But have we talked about the number of players that were drafted out of each program from this year's draft?
Not yet.
Well, I don't want to spoil the SEC component of it, but do you know who was number one this year? You may.
Number one in the SEC?
Robert, I'm sure, would be able to guess this
off
the
Georgia?
top of his head. No. I'm sorry, not in the SEC. I mean, in the draft this year. Who had the most? Ohio State.
Yeah.
It was 11. Alabama and Texas A&M tied for second.
Oh, okay. So Georgia took a bit of a step back in that regard.
They're just they're pacing with a national championship caliber program. Indiana had 8.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I wonder how many of those guys started at Indiana.
Oh, man. Well, that's the thing that we were talking about the other day when we were doing your SEC stat of the day, right? If you went back and tracked how many of the guys in the top 10 or who were drafted in the first round this year, how many guys who were drafted in the first round started at SEC programs versus finished elsewhere or started elsewhere and then finished at an SEC program to maximize their draft potential. I'm sure the SEC, the numbers would be more favorable for the SEC if you went back and looked, okay, this player initially accepted an offer at Alabama, Georgia.
Yeah, Caleb Downs started at Alabama under Nick Saban.
So something like that, and still went to a high-level program as opposed to kind of like transferring up in caliber of program from Group of 5 to Power 5 like a lot of these dudes do. Also, side note, Robert, you may have caught this as well. Did you see that no players from, was it FCS?
Yep.
No players from FCS were drafted in the first 2 days of the draft for the first time ever?
Until Caleb Proctor, I believe, in the 4th round.
Wow.
I don't know if that's just a one-year anomaly, if that speaks to a larger trend about...
No, that's what college football is now.
Movement.
Those guys are moving. How many of the Indiana players that got drafted came from
JMU?
James Madison? It's not FCS, but...
Surratt, at least.
It was FCS, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years ago, James Madison was an FCS program.
And I mean, like, a guy like Coogan went to Notre Dame first.
Yep.
You know, like it's... so there are some of those, too.
D'Angelo Pond started at JMU.
Yep.
Aiden Fisher, drafted out of Indiana, started at JMU. So Omar Cooper Jr. may have been the only IU player drafted that actually started at IU.
You're looking at the YouTube chat?
Wow, what's going on?
Just make your video live.
I need to... Well, this is very much a visual bit
That looks like
on an audio medium. But if you're watching on Zone TV,
My head is turned in such an unnatural way.
I don't know that you've ever been objectified more than you are right now. Also, we're attaching the sponsor to it. Hattie B's is
Brought to you by Hattie B.
I mean,
Do they want that?
Two-Tone
yeah,
Blue says,
they want that in Shut the Cluck Up. They want they want that with a side of fries.
the new contest. Make it clap in the chat with Lucas.
Can you?
Go on, have your fun.
Buddy, I gave you 17 minutes of Vols talk, okay? After the draft. I don't know what else you want from me here. Luke Ass Panchica, brought to you by Hattie B's. I'm
Do
sure
you
the
like
sponsor
the
loves
graphic?
that.
Like the actual picture that took so much work? He wouldn't even take a picture for me.
Is that in a gentleman's club? Is that the venue? It looks somewhere between a hookah lounge.
Those look like looks like a casino. Those look like slot machines.
No, those aren't. Those are bar stools, aren't
you
they?
sweet summer child, Lucas.
I
That
can't.
looks
It's
like
a
slot machines.
grainy picture.
Looks like hard to find the background of a gentleman's club on Google Images. Go figure.
Okay, on a work computer is nuts.
I typed in gentleman's club. I wasn't crass.
It's for gentlemen.
Clearly, based on our callers. My God, the man said plump.
Thick as hell.
615-737-1045 is how you call in if you want to talk about football, if you want to objectify Lucas, if you want to call in and win some tickets. What do we have to win?
Tickets to
Do
the
it.
long-awaited.
Yes.
When we had these tickets before, everyone was so excited about it, they about shut our phone lines down.
Yes.
Now, if you can tell us what made you say, oh no, in sports, you get tickets to Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh, no, you got
Bring me the horizon.
There we go.
It makes it sound like they have a song called "Bring Me the Horizon."
Listen to that wheezing cough.
It hurt. That one was tough. Anyway, Bring Me the Horizon.
Stay with me back there. 615-737-1045 is the number. Call in and tell us what in sports made you say, oh no, and you can win those tickets and a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa.
You may already be at that point in the day. You're tapping your foot. You're looking up at the clock. That lunch break is coming right around the corner. I have good news. In 20 minutes, doors are open at every Hattie B's Middle Tennessee location. The perfect spot for you to go and enjoy your lunch on this Tuesday. And if you want to make it quick, go ahead and download the Hattie B's app. Make it easy. Start to stack those rewards. You get a free dessert just for downloading the app, and you can start to build up those rewards. You'll be amazed at how generous Hattie B's is with those rewards online. Also at HattieB.com. Order for pickup or delivery, whether it's the Melrose, Midtown, Broadway, West Nashville location, on and on, even inside of Geodis Park. If you're going to be in the building tonight for that Nashville SC game in CONCACAF Champions Cup, yes, you can enjoy some Hattie B's hot chicken. Storms rolling in tonight. Go to the West Nashville location, enjoy the sunshine on that beautiful patio, and get you some Hattie B's today.
for the opportunity to win 2 tickets to Bring Me the Horizon and a $100 gift card.
No.
Bring me the... Oh, I can't do it.
You were so close. Just finish it.
Bring me the horizon. Yeah, like
Perfect.
that? Okay. Very
Perfect.
good. I'm sure these people are very offended by us. I'm sorry. If you want to go to a Bring Me the Horizon concert with a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa, 615-737-1045. Do they actually sing that way? Or are we just
I have no idea.
stereotyping Bring Me
I'm
the
just
Horizon?
guessing.
I feel like that's
It kind of sounds like a
probably offensive.
Good Charlotte breaking Benjamin.
What if it's like, I don't know, like show tunes or something like that?
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Right? You know, I mean, I don't know. Is it like a barbershop quartet, or are we just making them a screamo act because we don't know what the hell we're talking about? It's not their fault. It's our fault.
I'll listen while you're talking.
Okay, very good.
Like
615-737-1045. Do you want the playlist or the cheerleading competition?
Dealer's choice.
I kind of like Bill being a wag, so give me the playlist.
Okay. So they, in this never-ending, godforsaken Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel story, situation, soap opera, whatever you want to call it, because it continues to have new layers every day. I told Lucas when I logged on to the internet this morning that 3 of the top 5 stories on TMZ Sports are about the 2 of them. And the one at the top of the page is, and I'm just reading directly from TMZ, Diana Rossini tried to help Mike Vrabel get over a 4-game Tennessee Titans losing streak with a mediocre Spotify playlist. At least that's what the internet believes after the NFL's insider streaming activity on Spotify surfaced on Monday. So there is an account called FOIA, which is Freedom of Information Act. So this guy's entire thing is submitting FOIA requests on things related to football, sports, other things. Apparently, he's also delving into the TMZ portion of this because he found a Diana Rossini Spotify playlist called Turnin' the Page, shared with a user named Only Mike on December 19th, 2022, whilst in the midst of a 4-game Tennessee Titans losing streak. This, by the way, would become a 7-game losing streak because the Tennessee Titans would lose 7 in a row and lose their lead in the AFC South to end the 2022 season. The story will not end.
But that could have been any Mike that she was sharing that with. Could have been anyone, even Mike Vrabel.
I need the Curb Your Enthusiasm music after every new detail. I don't even know that they're details anymore. It's brother.
Yeah, it's one thing after the other.
And I'm telling you, I feel bad about making some of these jokes and even doing stuff like that, but it's just this, you couldn't write.
It's crazy.
You couldn't write something this outlandish.
Vrabel,
Just for 6 years, apparently. I don't want to get caught up in it again. It's just ridiculous.
he was back in the building yesterday, and Jonathan Jones of CBS tweeted today, attempting to clear up internet confusion the last 24 hours. It was never the plan for Vrabel to attend 1 day of therapy and not go back. It's a process. He was gone Saturday. He's back with the team now. He'll be gone and return again in the future.
He needs to go away.
It's a mess. Just an absolute mess.
He needs to go away.
This reporting around Brandon Ayuk is what made me say, oh no. This whole thing has been so weird from the jump with Brandon Ayuk, right? Going all the way back to a couple of years ago where he wanted a new deal. He got a new deal. He got injured. He wouldn't come back. He started refusing to come back. On the outside, it was really hard to tell kind of what Brandon Ayuk wanted out of the situation. And now the Niners are trying to trade him. And GM John Lynch said to reporters 3 days ago about Brandon Ayuk, quote, "We're available. Give us a call." Basically
Please.
begging people to call them to trade for Brandon Ayuk. And then Adam Schefter reporting yesterday that the 49ers and other teams are reportedly having a hard time getting a hold of Brandon Ayuk as the Niners attempt to trade him. This whole situation is so strange. Now, I take everything with a grain of salt. Adam Schefter is getting that from NFL teams, but I just don't understand. I just don't understand the situation.
That's weird, man.
Iota. I don't get it.
There's a lot of just weird-ass stories in the league this year.
I don't get it. He got his deal, and then from there, it's been just and nothing has made sense.
Okay, can you give me the reckless speculation sound? By the way, were you in here the other day when Blaine got to hit the reckless speculation sound?
Oh, it was awesome.
That was delightful. So, the Brandon Ayuk story. The weirder part of this is how erratic his behavior is, right? Because he's doing things that defy explanation.
Yeah. Like, what do you want? You want your deal? You got your deal. You want to play for the Niners or you want to get traded? It doesn't seem like you want either. Do you want to retire? Like, what's happening?
Did you see the thing that Albert Breer had of him speeding his car? You've never been to Levi Stadium, either of you. Levi Stadium, the way it's a terrible setup as far as like logistically to get in there. But there's like a track. It's not even a road. It's not a 2-lane road. You shouldn't have a vehicle certainly going at high speeds on this track that surrounds the stadium. And he is going like 80 miles an hour on this little track where, you know, people are bringing like service carts in and catering is coming through in this direction and all these different things. And he's just racing down this road in a way that's very unsafe for both him and anybody that's out there. My reckless speculation on that is that he's behaving a little like something that would remind you of Antonio Brown. And I say that only with the context of reckless speculation because I don't know what's going on there. And the Antonio Brown thing, we still don't know at what point or what caused this kind of, I mean, you would call it a personality change, right?
Yeah, it's
in Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
So that's what first comes to my mind when you see somebody behaving in a way that makes absolutely no sense to anybody involved from any side of things. Like there's no defending his actions on all of this, especially because I think he's largely gotten what he wanted.
Exactly. That's the thing. And you hope everything's okay, right? And obviously we don't know all the details on the personal side of things. I imagine it's an incredibly frustrating situation for the Niners right now.
Have you guys seen the Commanders wide receiver room? It may be worse for them that they're in a situation where they need Brandon Ayuk.
Trailing.
Yeah, they got trailing.
Terry McLaurin, Traylon Burks, Luke McCaffrey are their first three. Then they re-signed Van Jefferson, Titans legend. Diami Brown came back. They drafted Antonio Williams. Wide receiver room looking like
one large dookie soup. Oh, my kids were playing a joke on me.
My kids were playing a joke on me.
dookie soup.
You have been waiting so long to use that.
One large dookie soup.
Yeah, I know, buddy.
How does that not just tickle you?
No, it's delightful.
My oh no is if you guys are unfamiliar with the NFL draft, security's high. And a lot of content creators apparently like to go out there.
Has he seen this before? Have you seen the story he's talking about?
No.
You need to pull up this YouTuber and watch it live while he's explaining the story.
Oh, in the break. You watch it. It's like a 2.5-minute video.
I think he can get the context of what you're talking about.
A YouTuber named Fred, no, not that one, decided that he was going to charge the NFL stage and announce a pick on his own.
Oh, my.
He jumped the gate. Was wearing a black Steelers polo, and no one saw him do it. He got to the stage, got to the podium, and starts announcing that the Steelers, with the 57th pick, are going to select Luke Maxer, which is a look-maxing joke, which very hilarious by him.
Do you know what this is? Putting maxing on the end of things, look maxing.
What is
like you're ass maxing? Like anytime someone is doing something like
to the nth degree.
Yeah, sure, but like
TikTokers call it look maxing is like
trying to make yourself look.
Yeah, it's like what these two famous YouTubers do. This one that was on 60 Minutes Australia. Like they're dudes that try to maximize their appearance. Like this one is doing a makeup tutorial on how to make himself look like he's got a sharper jawline. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
They break they take like hammers and like lightly tap their cheekbones because they think it gives them like a stronger jaw.
Yeah,
we'll see if it works. I've been doing it for 2 weeks. Anyway, he charges the stage, ends up getting removed, and for this one little video, this one prank, he has effectively been banned from all NFL events, games, draft, happenstances.
Thank God.
He is not allowed to go to any NFL events ever again. At the end of the video, he says, I think that the NFL will see that this was funny and allow me to come back. Yeah, have fun with that.
Ugh, I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
One large dookie soup.
Not even with that?
What in the world, man?
No, but like the worst part of this video, Lucas, and you'll see this when we go to commercial break before we take these calls, is there's you've been to an NFL event. You know that there's people that are stationed to work at various checkpoints, security points. We have facial recognition scanners for all of us now. They recognize our face as opposed to just our credentials to move around these facilities, these stadiums and things like that. There's an attendant as this YouTuber is being dragged off the stage and dragged away from the draft stage by multiple event workers. He's like, the YouTuber's pointing at this one guy being like, no, you told me it was okay to go in here, right? You told me it was okay. And the guy's, you're probably going to get that guy fired. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, no, this guy, he let me by, right? You remember me getting...
That's the worst.
Letting me go. It's just the worst kind of internet behavior you've ever seen.
It's awful.
In your life. So, yeah, it could fit the dumbest thing in sports. It could fit any of those categories.
You want to take the calls here or do it on the other side?
Let's do it on the other side because I talked for too long. But those were all very good submissions. If you have a better one, 615-737-1045, you call in, you get a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa ahead of Mother's Day. That's a great prize, as well as 2 tickets to Bring Me the Horizon. I'm Buck Rising, it's 104.5 The Zone.
One large dookie soup.
11:01, good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. Titans rookie minicamp begins this weekend. The team announced on Monday Robert Saleh will meet with the media Friday at 11:45. Practice starts at 11:15 with the Titans' 8-man draft class and UDFA signings. In NFL news, the Steelers are placing the right of first refusal tag on Aaron Rodgers. It gives him a chance to accept a 10% raise off last year's salary, but the Steelers would have the right to match any offer that comes his way. Tonight, Nashville Soccer Club will host Mexican club Tigres in the first leg of the CONCACAF Champions Cup semifinal at Geodis Park. Kickoff set for 7:30 on FS1. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
So the Titans drafted a wide receiver with the 4th overall pick, and a number 1 wide receiver already in the league has some thoughts about Carnell Tate to the Titans. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. We also have your phone calls to take on the thing in sports that made you say, oh no. 615-737-1045 is the number if you would like to participate. We do have a number of you to get to. So I think let's probably just knock out a few oh-no's here, and then we can talk about what Malik Neighbors had to say, because I do want to spend more time on that than I do, with all due respect, to the oh-no callers. So let's start with Seth in Smithville. That sounds like a real sports radio caller.
Good morning, fellas. How are y'all?
Doing well.
Well, we always knew that oil money was dirty. Now we know it's real dirty with Braden Solersby. Thank God he didn't go to Tennessee, because all he's rambled up in now, it's bad. All the gambling stuff, having to go to rehab, all that good stuff, yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah, that story. Thank you for the call. Remember to stay on hold for the chance to win that gift card and those tickets to Bring Me Horizon, a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa.
He did have a great idea. Did you guys ever think about betting on pitches? He was betting on individual pitches up to like 25 cents to $1, whether it would be a strike or a ball. That's a fun, how many pitches get thrown in a baseball game?
You know what that's called?
Addiction.
Gambling addiction.
I mean, I think
you know,
that
it sounds
would be
fun being an addict.
I would love to do that. You just take like $120 and every pitch you're like ball or strike.
Yeah, it would be harmless, you know, if that was the only level of betting or gambling that you were involved in. But no, he's just betting on everything. He's betting on futures for teams that he's on. He's betting on just about everything, especially for a player who, again, reportedly received or was getting an NIL valuation of $5 million to transfer this year from Cincinnati to Texas Tech. It's a really bad situation.
I mean, you just hope for him that he, gets better. Like it affects so many people. 1-800-889-9789, the Tennessee Red Line.
Yes, thank you. Jay is in Spring Hill.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Hey, so my oh-no is like an oh-no you did moment, but it was it was the draft last weekend. The International Fan of the Year that happened to be female, she's representing Baltimore, so she's got the accent going. She receives the boos from the crowd, the Steeler crowd all booing her, so she kind of quiets them down quickly, saying, don't worry, I'll make it quick, pauses and says, like your postseason.
Yeah.
That was just awesome.
Yeah, she got their ass. It was very polite British lady in glasses.
Oh, my God, that's awesome.
She got up there and said, yeah, don't worry, it'll be quick like your postseason.
Like your postseason. That's so good.
You proud of your fellow, what do they call you, flock members? What is it?
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Mark Ingram also lit them up.
He was incredible.
Which is crazy because he was there for like 2 years.
Yeah,
okay, hold on. He was an integral part of Lamar's MVP season. You leave Mark alone. We claim him, not the Saints.
He was in New Orleans. He was in New Orleans for so much longer.
It's okay.
And he lit up Pittsburgh fans.
The problem was I think this was during their second round pick, that he gets up there and he just starts going in on the Steelers, going Flock Nation, and the boos are just coming in like a tidal wave. But there's people on the stage with him.
These poor little flag football girls.
And he's like, anyway, I'd also like to honor. And people are still booing.
Like loudly.
And he's like shouting out all these girls that play flag football. And it just makes it seem like they were booing the girls.
They were.
Oh, my
The girls were from Baltimore. They were booing.
Oh, my God.
It's like that one clip of Pat McAfee at a Titans game, right? He says he's from Pittsburgh, and all the Titans fans start booing him. He's like a high school
draft, you mean?
High school player of the year. No.
Oh.
You know
right,
what I'm talking
when he was
about?
a kid. Yeah.
McAfee was the worst about it this weekend. Every time that guy got up to the podium, it's like, shut the hell up and say the pick, dude. You're on TV. You talk all the time. Like, we don't care.
Did he go multiple times? I just saw the one where he's talking about like the kings of the AFC South, even though the Colts haven't won it since 12.
I think he announced both day 2 picks, but it was just insufferable. Like, say the pick, dude.
Yeah, like I said, I very much respect him as a business person. His persona is not for me. Alvin is next. What do you got, Alvin?
Yeah, mine was the player, the scout, GM, Malik Neighbors' projection that a number 1 pick that can't be a number 1 receiver because he was a number 2 in college. Asinine. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Yeah, we're going to play that Malik Neighbors audio here in just a second, and then one more quickly for Mary Claire, and then we'll go to that Malik Neighbors sound.
All right. I've got the Carolina Hurricanes tweet after sweeping the Senators in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The tweet says, "Read it if you can and weep," with a picture of Brady Tkachuk, famously a big dum-dum.
Mary Claire stuck the landing there.
Famously a big dum-dum is perfect.
Read it if you can and weep. I really wanted to go with the British Ravens fan, but I think Mary Claire might have.
that's, Mary Claire, well done. So she gets the concert tickets and the $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. That was awesome. Famously a big dum-dum. All right. So, to get back to, was it Alvin or was it, I think it was Alvin, who brought up Malik Neighbors. We had Trevor Sycamore on last week, right? We had him on draft day before all the Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini stuff really kicked up again. And Trevor was a part of the Bleacher Report live stream coverage of the draft. So they had Adam Lefkoe running it. Did you watch any of this?
I saw what we're about to play.
So they've got Adam Lefkoe on a desk kind of guiding the conversation. They've got Micah Parsons and Malik Neighbors on a couch reacting to the picks. And then they've got Trevor Sycamore kind of in this Steve Kornacki role where he's doing like a best available on a board while standing up, kind of like a teacher.
He did a great job, by the way.
He did a really good job. I watched a little bit of it on day 2. So Malik Neighbors, they do the pick on day 1. It's the Titans. It's Carnell Tate. And this is Malik Neighbors, the Giants wide receiver, reacting to the selection of Carnell Tate.
For Carnell Tate, because I do like the player, I like the scheme fit, but again, Carnell Tate was a little bit further down my board. I would have went a different direction here.
And now we go to our resident wide receiver, Malik Neighbors. Your thought on Carnell Tate? And be real.
Okay, I mean, I want him to come to LSU. Coming out of high school, I took him on his visit. Well, I was there when he visited. And I wanted him to come there. He's a very talented player. Like you say, can high point the ball. But, he's going to do tremendous in Coach Dave's offense. I was in that offense. Right. It's going to be a hard offense to learn, but he's a very smart player. He's going to get it. Wandale is there, so he's definitely going to help him. But I don't think that, this is a draft to draft a receiver. I just don't think that high. Like, that's high.
I was going to say, you were the 6th pick in the draft, and your skill set compared to Carnell Tate. You were saying, do you see him as a number 1 in the NFL?
No, I don't see him being a number 1. He hasn't been the number 1 on the team that he's been on. I mean, you have to be a number 1 on the team that you're coming from to be a number 1 receiver that the team that you're going to. Because they're going to trust you a lot to be the first person that they throw the ball to, the first person they count on to win the rep. You have to be there. You can't be the second. Anybody can do it. What you mean?
JSN was never number one.
Bro, JSN was different, though.
Hold on. No, you said you got to be number one on the team that you coming from. JSN was not number one. Bro, you got to understand the number.
Okay, so that's Micah Parsons arguing with him. And also, wasn't JSN the number one at Ohio State?
Yeah. He was there before Jeremiah Smith got there.
Yeah, so Parsons is wrong on that. Yeah. Okay, now.
You could argue Egbuka was never like the clear-cut one. Yeah. But again, what are we talking about here? We're talking about a team with 3 receivers, 3 first-round receivers that would be the one on literally any other team in the country.
Okay, the question is, did you just get the lesser of them? That's all that we're talking about here, right? Did you get a lesser talented version? He's still a first-round Ohio State wide receiver. Those guys, historically, don't miss. That's okay. I don't think that this is a miss of a pick. He's an Ohio State wide receiver that we talked about yesterday. He's safe. There's nothing wrong with taking Carnell Tate here, other than what Malik Neighbors is posing is if you draft a wide receiver number 4 historically, and we understand that comparing drafts from one draft to the next is a flawed exercise. Okay, let's get that out there. All the precursors, all the caveats on the front end before we have this discussion. But that is true. When you go back and look historically at the number of receivers taken in the top 10, much less the top 5, usually they're thought of as higher-end prospects than Carnell Tate is. You agree or disagree?
Sure.
Okay. So, Malik Neighbors, who is, maybe he's not articulating it in the best possible way, but he is somebody who has played in Brian Daboll's offense. So he is, I think, as qualified as anybody to evaluate what a number 1 wide receiver needs to look like in Brian Daboll's offense. Is he going to, I think, hold it against Carnell Tate? That Carnell Tate was drafted 4 and he was drafted 6? Probably. That's the way those guys work. But if Malik Neighbors is looking at that and saying, yeah, he's probably not a wide receiver 1 in the league, and he wasn't a wide receiver 1 on his own team, and now you're asking him to not just take the jump of being that kind of a player, but doing it at the professional level, that's a big ask. I'm not saying that he's not capable. He may well be capable. We have no idea what this player is going to become. But at least the conversation going in, do you treat him like your average top 5 wide receiver? It seems the conversation is, well, no, because he's not quite that. Is that fair?
I guess so. I mean, when you say your average top 5 receiver, like you're talking about.
So there's any number of players you could point to. And again, the context of the draft matters. But Malik Neighbors is a top 10 wide receiver. Tet McMillan is also a top 10 wide receiver, right? Maybe that's
top 10
more
drafted, you're saying.
Top 10 drafted wide receiver. I'm sorry, I should have said drafted. So Bryce Young got drafted 2 years before Tet McMillan did. In the top 10, we're talking about number 1 overall quarterbacks, and we'll get to more of this later, but number 1 overall quarterbacks who have then received a top 10 draft pick as a weapon, specifically a receiver, and what those 2 players have done together. If Malik Neighbors is evaluating it like that, I don't know how biased he is. I don't know what his level of bias is. He's not really telling you clearly what Carnell Tate doesn't do that would not make him a number 1 wide receiver, right? That's not really a part of that clip there.
Yeah, that's the problem for me. That's the thing that doesn't hold water to me is he wasn't even a 1 on his own team, where Jeremiah Smith, the 1 on Ohio State's roster, could very well be the number 1 overall pick in next year's draft, right? We'll see what Arch Manning does, and the QB class is deeper and all of these things. But Jeremiah Smith, like, we are all on the same page. Maybe the best wide receiver we've seen at the college level since Julio. I mean, I don't know. So the other part of that is Garrett Wilson at no point led Ohio State in receiving in a single season. Emeka Egbuka at no point led Ohio State in receiving in a single season. So just taking that part of it and applying it to Carnell Tate, saying it's not a good pick because he never led his team in receiving, is just very lazy to me. If you don't think the pick is worth number 4 overall, then explain why and talk about the player.
Which was what Trevor was doing, right? He said, I like the player, I just wouldn't have taken him there. I would have gone another direction.
Right, but to say, well, he wasn't better than Jeremiah Smith is not an argument that holds water to me.
No, and I think that's the kind of place where we're talking about, and I brought this up yesterday, and I didn't want to come off salty because I really don't mean it that way, but like a lot of these player-hosted or player-centric outlets, some of them really, really do well, right? Like Inside the NBA is very special. in terms of the chemistry that it has, the cast that it has. Are you really going to Inside the NBA for the analysis of the modern basketball game? A lot of times they dismiss it, right? They're kind of dismissive in the way that they talk about how teams are playing basketball right now because it's not the style of play that they played. It just depends on what you're talking about. So you got to have the right combination of chemistry, analysis, entertainment value to really carry one of these things. And I think there's so much money in it now for athletes that why wouldn't you? I saw Cam Ward was doing something at the draft.
Oh, I didn't see that.
This weekend. He was doing, it was a Q&A session hosted by, I'm blanking on the woman's name from the NFL Network. I want to say it's Colleen Wolfe. Does that ring any bells?
Yeah.
But anyway, Cam was
right.
doing some sit down with American Express, Platinum Edition members or whatever it is.
Malik Neighbors, did you see what he said about the Arvell Reese pick, too?
No.
He said when the Giants drafted Arvell Reese, don't get me wrong, I love the player, but where do you play? You want to be on the outside and rush, but we just drafted somebody last year to do that same thing. Talking about Arvell Reese, kind of criticizing the Giants selection there.
Isn't that fair, though?
He also was asked what would happen if the Giants took a receiver at 5. He said, you're going to pay him more than me, and I'm your number 1 receiver. When he's in year 3 and I need a contract, you're just going to trade Malik, talking about himself. And Micah Parsons said, welcome to my world. But it's not that it's not fair.
Funny.
It's that you do have to go into the locker room and work with this guy and be teammates with this guy. It can be true and fair. It doesn't mean it's the best thing to do in that situation.
Sure.
And John Harbaugh.
Do you think that Malik Neighbors wouldn't have that conversation with him in person about I'm just saying what I saw.
I guess so. I don't know. John Harbaugh said he had a great conversation with Malik and, kind of stood up for him, said as long as his heart's in the right place, as long as he cares, say what you think, put it out there. So if Harbaugh didn't publicly have an issue with it, who are we to have an issue with it? But I don't know. I just thought it was odd watching Malik Neighbors kind of bashing the number 5 overall pick that his team made.
And he's not wrong because John Harbaugh said that he's going to start at off-ball linebacker. So it makes sense. I mean, I assume they'll platoon him kind of like he was at Ohio State.
Yeah, so I don't know what you want, I guess, from the players in those situations because I think he's giving an honest assessment and then he's going to get crushed for his honest assessment, which is why you put him on that show in the first place because it sounds like he's willing to be honest about stuff.
But I guess it's the receiver of the Giants on there saying,
no, I get what you're saying.
Well, no, they shouldn't draft a receiver at 5. They got to pay me. Well, no, they shouldn't draft this edge rusher at 5. We just drafted in it. Then who do you want him to draft, bud? These are 2 of the best players in the draft that we're talking about.
But I also think they're talking because aren't they talking about now trading Kayvon Thibodeau? Isn't that the next part of this equation?
They were engaging in conversations around day 2 of the draft. The Saints ended up trading for Tyree Wilson. It cost them far less than Kayvon Thibodeau was. But I don't think that you can rule that out because he is in the final year of his contract, isn't he? He might have a 5th-year option still available.
That sounds right. He's been out of Oregon for a while now. Anyway, 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in at any point. You have NFL headlines.
Got a few.
Next.
secret meetings, potential trades, upcoming signings, all that and more with Lucas Panchica. Yeah.
So one of the biggest headlines from the NFL draft was Ty Simpson going at 13 overall to the Los Angeles Rams, and more notably, Sean McVay's demeanor in the post-first-round press conference with Rams GM Les Snead. McVay looked less than thrilled about the selection, and he had to clear it up the next day. And it was a bit of a word salad from Sean McVay, but basically saying, I just want to make sure that Matthew Stafford knows this is his team. I get a little grumpy sometimes. He was having a joke with some reporters. But the thought was the Rams didn't meet much with Ty Simpson in the pre-draft process. Right after the draft, Ty Simpson said that his interactions with L.A. were really brief. He said, quote, I met with some scouts in Alabama, and that was really it. They talked to my agent, but that really wasn't much. That was immediately after the draft. Kay Adams, the clip that she had talking to Sean McVay, I think from owners' meetings, was floating around where he said he hadn't really done a lot of homework on Ty Simpson. It made it all kind of head-scratching. But then Ty Simpson joined Ian Fitzsimmons on ESPN Radio and revealed that he had some secret meetings with Sean McVay, saying, quote, we tried to keep this under wraps as long as we could. It was something to where I knew they were interested, but they wanted to make it private and didn't want people to know that they were interested. All these secret meetings in the NFL world, all the rage recently. He said,
secret pool party?
He
McVay
said,
and Ty Simpson and Les Snead.
Well, if Vrabel and Diana were running off to Sedona, it was Ty Simpson and Sean McVay getting together. He said, quote, so I had some secret meetings with Coach McVay, and I was just trying to be on script and do what everybody told me and not tell anybody. He said of those meetings, it was just football. It was straight football. It was like a kid in a candy store. Me and him are sitting there. We're just going back and forth. You can tell the obsession he has for the game, and you can tell the love he has for quarterback play. Simpson said he and McVay had one meeting before the draft and talked for hours and hours. So doesn't feel as out of the blue as it felt initially.
It still didn't explain him, though. Like,
Sean McVay?
Is he just a good actor and none of us know it?
I don't know. I mean, now the messaging portion to Matt Stafford is a part of this, right? You have to communicate to your franchise quarterback.
Yeah, but he looked miserable.
Yeah. It was odd.
Did he just go did he get too much into his role?
Yeah, a little too method, I think, from Sean McVay.
Too much time in Hollywood.
Yeah, because the first thing he said, no, let's make something clear. This is Matt Stafford's team, right? And there does need to be a conversation there with Stafford that could be uncomfortable on, hey, here's why we didn't go get a player that can help us win now and take advantage of you coming off an MVP year in this Super Bowl window.
Oh, yeah, reportedly he wasn't thrilled.
Right. Here's why we drafted your eventual replacement at 13 overall instead of the best receiver on the board or something like that. But all very interesting, but secret meetings between Ty Simpson and Sean McVay.
Yes.
How many of their I don't know the legality of this, but you're only allowed a certain number of 30 visits where a player is allowed to visit your where your team talks at a facility. That's the word I was looking for. Are they circumventing the limit of 30 visits by having secret meetings with prospects elsewhere?
They could if they, had used the full extent of their 30 visits.
Which they don't. They famously do not have players come for 30 visits.
Yeah, They don't even show up to the combine.
So if you said, okay, we're going to submit whatever process this needs to go to officially signal that Ty Simpson is going to take one of our 30 visits that we don't very often use, and we just don't have to publicly disclose it because who reports on those things? Teams don't announce them.
Agents mostly.
Right. So if you can get the agent to buy into the idea of, hey, we're going to take your guy at 13 and we're going to put him in the best possible position to succeed, everybody just lay out here. All right, let's play the long game and let's put your client in the best possible position to succeed. If you can get the agent on board with that, then who's going to say? I mean, somebody at the facility going to let out that Ty Simpson was on a 30 visit? I don't know, maybe.
I mean, it was a big deal when Matthew Stafford met Tom Brady at that skiing resort, and they were talking about the hypothetical of...
They ran into each other.
Oh, yeah, we just ran... Oh,
they
sorry.
ran into each other.
Sorry, Sean McVay, head coach of the... Sorry, I'm just getting a cup of coffee. Do you mind if I sit down? I just wanted to pick your brain.
It was just a coincidence.
Yes, a coincidence. Yes. Seems like the Rams are playing by their own rules.
Very happenstance.
They did not know that they were both going to be at this very secluded ski resort that only multi-million-dollar athletes and their wives tend to frequent, much like...
Tom? Tom, is that you?
You think he calls him Matt or Matthew? Oh, Matthew.
Mr. Brady, as I live and breathe.
Maddie?
What are you doing here?
Matty Stafford is absolutely what Tom Brady calls Matt Stafford.
I had totally forgotten about that chance encounter.
They
That's so
ran
great.
into each other. Nothing to see here.
Oh,
Big
that's so
staff.
great.
There
What's
were
up,
6
man?
other people on the trip with us. Nothing to see here.
Oh, man. That's so funny.
God.
Okay. In other news, George Pickens still has not signed his franchise tag. The Cowboys are placing him on the tag. They have publicly said that they have no plans to sign him to a long-term deal this offseason, as they are famously very proactive in these situations.
Where's rap sheet?
Now, with that said, but now that's another discussion. Like, Is it a good idea to sign George Pickens to a long-term deal? That's a fair discussion. But they are franchise tagging him, and Jeremy Fowler yesterday of ESPN tweeted last week, the Cowboys received a verbal commitment via email from George Pickens' agents that the star receiver is signing his franchise tag. He has yet to sign the tender. That was tweeted yesterday by Fowler, who adds Dallas still has no plans to trade him. Meanwhile, what did the Cowboys do yesterday? They signed Marquez Valdez-Scantling to a one-year deal. Trey Wingo, on top of this Jeremy Fowler tweet, said they had no plans to trade Micah until they did. George won't play under the tag because his agent rightfully doesn't want him to. And in the news today that Dallas just signed MVS, the path seems to be going a certain way. That is from Wingo on Twitter.
Cowboys fans don't deserve this, man. Just kidding.
What are the odds George Pickens is playing football for the Cowboys this year?
Oh, it's such a Cowboys thing to do.
And the player to do this with is the funniest part of all of it.
Well, I can't think of because for the most part, all right, did he and CD Lamb have the situation at the casino at some point during the season, and then reportedly, they were late to a meeting or something like that. They got benched for a drive or a quarter. I think it was just a drive, the opening drive of a Cowboys game here this last season. So he's not, the perfect student, George Pickens. Whatever. Doesn't it feel like this could be, because Micah Parsons was pretty combustible, and they still navigated that the way that they always do. Like, Micah Parsons was very much out there in public. I don't know that George Pickens could make a bigger mess than Micah Parsons tried to make for them last year, and they still stuck to their guns, right or wrong, and picked up an extra first-round pick at a more cost-effective price than what Green Bay ended up giving up for Micah Parsons.
The expectation is still that he signs the tag. That's what's being reported right now.
Is it verbal confirmation if it's an email? I mean, that's in writing.
I don't think that's I don't know if that holds up in court. Yeah, he'll sign it.
Are people saying that about text messages?
What do you mean?
Like, if you cite text messages instead of email, that's not in writing?
Text can be happenstance, though. Someone else could have had your phone. If you can't prove that person was holding their phone when the text was sent, you can't prove that they sent it.
We're talking about needing to put pen to paper for a contract.
Yeah, no, I hear
An
you.
email that says he'll sign it eventually is not a binding contract.
It's kind of a wild email to send, right? Hey, Jerry, he'll sign it eventually.
It's a $27.3 million tender. That's what Pickens would be playing on in 2026. So, it's George Pickens. What could go wrong? In other wide receiver news,
More like that's almost unfair to George Pickens. It's more like it's the Cowboys. What could go wrong?
I feel like, given his history, that's pretty fair to George Pickens, but it's also fair to say it's the Cowboys. It's the Cowboys and George Pickens, one of the most volatile players in the NFL. What could go wrong? In other wide receiver news, the Bills suddenly love Keon Coleman. GM Brandon Beane, who the Bills owner basically defended a few weeks ago, saying it wasn't his fault. Brandon Beane.
How are you going to take my dumbest thing in sports this week?
You got 24 hours to find a new one.
So good.
Publicly supported Keon Coleman, saying they do not have plans to trade him. He said, quote, "We had some people connect with us in Indy, at least one team there and a couple between there and the owners' meetings, but we shut those down. Our intention is for Keon to be here. And so I think the word was kind of out. So no calls this weekend." He said, "We've hit the reset button with him, and hopefully the fan base and everyone's behind him. I think his best year is yet to come in 2026.
Yeah, that's why we drafted the exact same player in round 4 of the draft this year. What are we talking about?
Just the things that are said at press conferences that don't actually matter. Your actions matter, right? What you're saying cannot be given validity based on what you do.
They drafted Skylar Bell, by the way, out of UConn.
Who's more likely to be on their current roster in 2026, Keon Coleman or George Pickens?
I'd say Coleman is more likely.
I'd probably agree with that.
Yeah.
Ooh, they signed a UDFA, the Bills did. His name is Bruno Finna. What's Bruno Finna do? Did Bruno Finna get cut, or Bruno Finna stick around on the practice squad?
How long have you had that joke?
I just pulled it up.
How long?
I just looked it up.
How long?
Like 5 seconds. I don't know. I'm about to Bert Finna in this segment if you don't start talking about the next thing.
This is some media news.
So glad you brought that to a screeching halt for that.
Media news to close out the segment here. We know Mike Tomlin is joining NBC.
Yes.
Did you guys get to see it?
What?
Did you guys get to see any of Tomlin's stuff?
On NBC?
Yeah.
No, I saw him walk out there and meet the cast of the basketball broadcast crew for NBC. I didn't see him actually do any analysis.
Find some clips.
Good?
It was, dude.
Yeah, as expected.
Like a pro. Like he'd been doing it for years.
I can see that. He's going to be awesome. He's going to be awesome.
Probably
on
the
TV.
best hire they've made since when? Since
I mean, Maria Taylor's really good.
NBC specifically, you mean?
Yeah, just like finding somebody that really fit.
Yeah.
Tirico. I mean, Tirico's
Right,
a god.
right.
You know, but as far
But
as
when
like
was
the
that?
studio, Tirico's been there for a while now.
They swiped him from ESPN. Yeah, it's been years.
Yeah, him and Gruden were still doing Monday Night Football together.
I want to say like 2017, because that was the year they paired McDonough with Gruden on Monday Night Football, and that was like oil and water. Like McDonough, incredible pro, but like that just, the chemistry was not there. Yeah. But Chris Sims announced he will be out at Football Night in America.
What was he doing? He's not on that studio.
His best.
No, he was part of that show.
Not on the desk, right? It was McCourty and Garrett, Maria Taylor. Was he on there?
Was he not on the desk?
I don't know. I don't get to see a lot of these pregame shows.
I mean, I think he was parachuting in for stuff. Yeah, I can't remember the exact capacity. But yeah, Tomlin is more of a replacement for Tony Dungy.
Hopefully we still get Chris Sims' positional rankings around draft time, because they are spectacular.
Are you being snide?
He had Joey Aguilar as his number, 3
Like
or
3 or 4
quarterback.
Yeah, dude, his rankings are all over the place.
Every year, though, right?
Yeah. Football Night in America also will be on the road, apparently, this year, instead of in studio.
Oh, so they're gonna pare it down, and they're gonna do what Game Day does. Not what Game Day does, but they're gonna take this. They're gonna do what Prime is doing, where they're just gonna open up their studio show wherever they go Monday Night Football. Same thing.
Yep.
Do people stick around after games? Do you stay, like when you go to a Ravens game that's a primetime game and they have like a studio show, you'll stick around and scream at the player that they bring to the desk?
Exactly, because you want the chance. When we went, the last Ravens game I went to, I don't even remember when that was, but we stuck around, hung out there, wanted to see Lamar at the desk, wanted to holler. I think my big fat ass got on the TV when they were doing the sweeping shot. Didn't I get on there?
I didn't see it.
Hard to miss. I think I was on there. I'm finna look it up. I'm Bruno finna look it up.
We're Bruno finna talk some soccer.
Next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. So I don't know about the best in the world, but they're the best in the East. Nashville SC. Now, this is not an MLS game tonight. This is a CONCACAF game, of which Nashville SC has been on a deep run throughout the course of their ongoing MLS season. So Lucas and Will not be on the broadcast tonight, but you were on the call on Saturday when they had yet another win. So this is against Tigres, right?
That's right. Tonight.
Tigres, Robert.
Tigres from Monterrey.
Did you guys ever watch Pee-wee's Playhouse?
No.
Maybe once.
My mom used to buy me VHSs at yard sales, and it was like that, Woody the Woodpecker, things that weren't on TV when I was around. But he used to have like a little cut-in segment that was like, El Hombre. And it was like a cartoon of like this Hispanic superhero who would help people. Every time you say Tigres, it makes me think of El Hombre.
Well, I'm very curious at what the environment looks like tonight. Obviously, the weather could be dicey. We'll see if that has any impact. But Nashville's trying to be the best in North America. They're 3 games away from doing it. They're 3 games away from qualifying for Club World Cup 2029 and playing amongst the elite teams in global soccer 3 years from now. So every time they advance in this tournament, you know, the stakes grow higher, the opportunity grows larger, and it refreshes the chance to make the biggest step in club history the deeper they go. In a tournament that MLS teams typically struggle, that Mexican teams typically dominate. So they'll host Tigres tonight, first leg. The second leg is a week from today in Mexico. So how about having to go to Mexico on Cinco de Mayo to try and eliminate one of the best teams in Mexico and advance to the CONCACAF Champions Cup final? But they're cruising. They're playing well at every level defensively. Saturday was the first time all year they've given up more than 1 goal in a game, which is crazy. And I think it should be a great environment tonight at Geodis Park. And Hani Mukhtar and Sam Surridge and company will look to continue pushing them through in this tournament.
Who needs to be El Hombre for Nashville SC against the Tigres?
I'm going to cop out and just go with the 3 star attackers, Mukhtar, Surridge, and Espinoza. And I just say that because Nashville has advanced in this tournament, past Inter Miami, past Club America, in very cagey, low-scoring games, right? They've been really, really sound defensively. They have found their moments, and they've been able to just squeak by those teams, 2 teams that could very well have been picked as favorites to win this tournament. But Tigres is a team that is explosive, can score goals, outscored Cincinnati 5-4 earlier in CONCACAF Champions Cup on aggregate. Seattle, they won that tie 3-3, and they advanced on away goals. I have a hard time thinking Nashville moves on scoring 1 to 2 goals over the course of 2 games. We'll see. Nashville's a different defensive task than what Tigres has seen so far, and vice versa. But there's so much quality on both sides here, quality attackers on both sides. So Mukhtar, Espinoza, and Surridge, the form that they've been in this year, just how conjoined they've been in the attack, and that sort of telekinetic connection they've already established has to be running at a high level. Nashville has to take advantage of their opportunities tonight. They didn't do so in the first leg against Miami and Club America, but they also didn't concede, and they did enough in the second legs on the road to move on. But I think it's huge for them to get on the board tonight with the home crowd backing you and the momentum that you're on right now and try and get a head start. You don't want to go into Mexico next week and have to face a deficit and go in on the road in a very hostile environment to advance.
El hombre. I literally got in my ear and said, do you have anything? Do you have anything?
No, I have another question, but I also want Lucas to translate what the El Hombre intro is. But we can do that later or right now.
Donde hay mal, donde hay malicio, donde hay peligro, busquen, pregunten, llamen por el hombre.
Oh, it was so cool.
Oh, basically saying where there's bad things, where there's bad people, where there's danger, they beg for el hombre, which just means the man.
They ask for, they beg for.
El hombre.
He's very Hispanic.
He's a big muchacho. So if if I was going to make a comparison for Nashville SC this year to a player that was not expected to carry as much water as they are now, a Justin Forsett, if you will, an unassuming signing, an unassuming player
That's a deep cut.
that rose to prominence this season, who is that? Or have they just been being carried by the big dogs, by the El Hombres?
Oh, I mean, it's been kind of across the board, but I would submit Patrick Yazbek, the Australian midfielder, who was an important player for them, but has elevated his game to contribute in the attack in a way that he wasn't doing as much last year, in a way that Nashville really needed out of their midfield. The way he's surging forward, a late arriving player into the box, combining with Hani Mukhtar, pulling strings. He has just been the perfect fit for what this team needed for a progressive, ball-carrying midfielder, and he's kind of added that element to his game. It's showing up in the goals and assists, but he and Eddie Tagseth in midfield, I would say, have lifted what they were doing. They're doing a more advanced version of what they were doing last year. It's been a huge reason why Nashville's been able to take this step this year without even addressing the midfield, honestly, in a big way in the offseason. So they don't have a weakness right now. They can win in multiple phases of the game. They can win on the counterattack. They can control games in possession. They can win tight, low-scoring games. They can win shootouts. And so a weakness has yet to be exposed, but this is the type of tournament that exposes weaknesses, and we can see what happens tonight against Tigres.
El Hombre.
Speaking of exposing weaknesses, what Star Wars play-by-play call did you work into your broadcast?
There were a few.
I heard one of them on your, if you guys missed it, check out at Lucas Panzica on Instagram. Put a go with me to call.
I'm sorry, what was that? I didn't hear you.
At Lucas Panzica.
Oh,
I should
you.
have added your Instagram handle to your bottom nameplate.
Yeah, give me something out of that.
I think the next punishment you have to have is you change your social media handles to Luke Ass Panchica for a day.
But I heard when somebody scored, you were very demonstrative. It was I like getting to watch.
Do we have any of it? I mean, for God's sakes, we carry the games, don't we?
I don't want to go find it.
Okay.
Think about it.
It would be nice to hear it.
He said you gave him it scored from a galaxy far, far away.
I say it scored from another galaxy. Yeah.
Oh.
Ahmed Qasim had a banger from
that's
the corner of the
that's
box.
worse. A galaxy far, far away is the saying.
It just wouldn't have. I don't know. It would have been hard. The
Your
verbal
job
dexterity
is
there
to
wouldn't have been a good fit.
Be
okay. All
God,
right.
it's lucky you're pretty.
When Nashville opened the scoring, Hani Mukhtar opened the scoring. I said Nashville has the high ground.
I would like to hear these things.
Okay, Nashville has the high ground. Okay.
I think right before kickoff, I said the opening crawl is complete. It's time for battle, something to that effect, right? The opening crawl, you watch a Star Wars movie, it's the words that are going down on the screen.
Okay.
It's a
See,
stretch.
that would be something that
I think Nashville's traveling at light speed this season is something I said at some point.
Okay, you can't just
You
say
could've said a
space
parsec.
terms.
There was a hyperspace reference in there. Yeah, that's a Star Wars reference. They go into hyperspace.
How long did it take the Millennium Falcon to run the race? What was the race it was in?
It's
it was
like
a parsec. It took a parsec.
something 0.5 parsecs or something
You
like
know what
that.
I should have done? I should have done a Spaceballs reference.
Yeah.
That would look better, yeah.
Ludicrous speed.
If the whole thing, you guys saw the new one's coming out.
Yeah.
Who's
How the hell is Mel Brooks still alive?
God,
It's good for him.
And making movies, too.
He looks like he is holding on by his teeth in that promo they
Good
put
for
out.
him for
He's
having
99
No.
years old. He turns 100 in 2 months.
No,
I think he said 2 days.
put me down at that point, man. 99?
He's living it,
He's
dude.
making a movie.
It can't be pleasant.
He looked thrilled. I don't know, people like that, I mean, it's the duality of funny people like that. They are either the tragic, tortured comic like a Robin Williams, or they are on that side where they are just happy and pleasant.
Dick
and
Van Dyke.
Right.
Dick Van Dyke is a rock star, still alive.
Literally 100 years old.
What was it? The Good Place? Is that? No. I'm thinking of somebody else. He looks like Dick Van Dyke, the guy that's in The Good Place. If you haven't seen it, very smart, very funny show. The Quest for More Money, No More. Now it is the new one, Spaceballs.
I'll be watching the new Spaceballs 100%. I will go to watch that in theaters, man.
Okay, so what movie would you like to work in themes from for your next soccer broadcast?
Let me see what the next theme night is at Geodis Park.
Do they have theme nights often?
They sprinkle them in. There was a Barbie night earlier. By the way, some people took the Star Wars night so seriously.
It looked awesome.
Full cosplay, Darth Vaders and Chewbacca's and Boba Fett's walking around.
They're very sweaty.
The supporter section unveiled a tifo, a giant banner of the Death Star right before kickoff.
Nice.
I think it was one of the best environments of the year.
So
on
everyone
Saturday.
played along but you.
I just told you all the ways.
Did you dress up?
Let's see. May 17th is Military Appreciation Night.
We should have put them in Yoda ears.
To the last drop of gasoline.
That would have been great.
You do the Patton speech, or do like Onward the Light Brigade.
The Kessel Run. It was the Kessel Run.
The Kessel Run.
That's what the Millennium
In less than 12
Falcon.
parsecs.
12 parsecs.
Oh, we've got a Harry Potter night in September.
Oh, there we go. Now
so
we have to
need
wait till September to get you to do this.
No, but
I
we
want
can...
to get off, Rocky.
It's Levio. Oh, do they still have Sam Levitt?
not Sam Levitt.
No,
LSU quarterback.
they have a Levitt. They have a don't they have a lead?
Lovitz.
Lovett.
Dan Lovitz, yes. Yes.
Okay,
he's,
so
friend of the show.
It could be it's Love It, not
Couldn't even begin to contain himself.
Hold on, dude. There's Harry Potter. You have to do like a Snape voice.
We have to dress you up as Hagrid.
Why?
We have until September 26th.
Why couldn't I be Ron? Why couldn't I be Dobby?
Ron's...
Master has given Dobby a sock. Dobby is free. Oh, okay. You would be Malfoy's dad.
Banging your head against the cabinet.
If you were...
You're a wizard, honey.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Literally, this is the second time I've cried laughing on the show today.
And a thumping goodnight witcher.
Oh, my God.
God, that cake that he brought Harry when they were living in that lighthouse
looks so good. It's so good.
That's a poll for the summer. Best foods that don't actually exist.
We could finally make use of Lucas's giant-ass forehead.
What are we going to put a movie on it?
No, you're going to put a scar on it.
We're going to show the Harry Potter movie on Lucas's forehead during the show.
$7:30 tonight at Geodis Park. You can watch it on FS1.
Got a break. Guys, the Tennessee Men's Clinic is here to help you if your energy's off, if things aren't working like they used to. You're not alone. Happens to a lot of guys. As you get up there in age, your body starts to change. Well, that's what the Tennessee Men's Clinic, powered by Men's Pro, is here to help you with. What you will love about them is that they've been doing this for years. They're not just the newest fly-by-night place or sketchy online pill. You're working with true medical providers. They run labs and build a plan around you, not some one-size-fits-all type of deal. They treat low performance, ED, weight loss, and even peptides like NAD+. Their treatments have worked for thousands of men, and most guys say they wish they would have come in sooner. Right now, your lab panel and consultation are just $99, so call them today at 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090, or visit them online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
It is 12:02. Good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. Titans rookie minicamp starts this weekend. The team announced on Monday that Robert Saleh will meet with the media Friday at 11:45. Practice will start at 11:15 with the Titans' 8-man draft class and UDFA signings on the field. In NFL news, Pittsburgh is placing the right of first refusal tag on Aaron Rodgers, giving him a chance to accept a 10% raise off last year's salary. The Steelers would have the right to match any offer. Tonight, Nashville Soccer Club hosts Mexican club Tigres in the first leg of the CONCACAF Champions Cup semifinal at Geodis Park. The second leg will be next Tuesday in Mexico. Kickoff tonight is at 7:30 on FS1. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
So now that we are through the draft, we still have post-draft free agency and teams making personnel decisions as to how to fill out what spots on their roster, what potential starting spots they may still have open. And for some teams, well, specifically one team, trying to figure out who the hell is going to play quarterback for them in 2026. The Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers saga, I would say it's the 5th consecutive offseason where we have had some level of Aaron Rodgers saga to document for entirely too much time. We got a new wrinkle in it today, and this is according to Tom Pelissero, who put out the report first, though many people have followed up this report since then. The Pittsburgh Steelers have made what's being described as an insurance move on Aaron Rodgers' situation, and they have placed a rarely used UFA tender on Aaron Rodgers before Monday's post-draft deadline. So this UFA tender gives the Steelers the right to receive a compensatory draft pick in the event that Rodgers signs with another team, because he is technically a free agent, while also limiting his ability to sign with another team once training camp begins, because they will have exclusive negotiating rights for Rodgers if he does end up not signing with another team by July 22nd or the first day of Pittsburgh's training camp. So he can give them he gets a 10% raise. He can also accept a 10% raise off of last year's salary, which would end up giving him about $15 million if he chose to stay with the Steelers. So the Steelers are saying, all right, we're gonna box you in a little bit. Let's pick up the pace a little bit, old man.
It's like the meme of like poking something with the stick. It's like, do something. Please tell us if you're going to play quarterback or not. It's kind of important.
It was one thing to hold the Jets hostage and the Packers hostage, right? The Steelers are just like, all right, we played this game one time with you.
But this is what you sign up for, right?
How bad do you need him?
You need him.
On that roster, for sure.
You need him in 2026. And the thing is that, the results may not be all that different. Like, how real is the possibility of Pittsburgh? How many games did they win? 9? Robert, 10?
I think they won
9. Maybe it was 10.
Snuck into the playoffs. Really feels like this team is going to be in that range too, right? I don't think the story is going to be dramatically different in Pittsburgh.
They won the division at 10-7.
Yeah, but
sneak into the playoffs. I won the division.
It just feels like it's the same scenario, same team. I mean, they snuck into the playoffs though. Like, they won the division in that crazy Ravens game at the end, where if they lose that game,
the kicker,
right, then they're out. But it just doesn't feel like things are all that different in Pittsburgh, despite, the end of an era with Mike Tomlin now on TV.
No, Robert and I were talking about it earlier this morning, and you used the word purgatory to describe Pittsburgh. That just feels where everybody's stuck at right now. They are in this mode of, they as a franchise do not want to submit to anything less than annual competitiveness, regular competitiveness, right? They have said that's not in their DNA to do what the fan base wants them to do, which is basically take their lumps for a year and bottom out and turn this thing around in a more meaningful way.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this in the past about how Pittsburgh has been stuck in that purgatory. Never good enough to win the whole thing, but never bad enough to have a top 10 pick and have a chance to draft an actual difference maker at quarterback. Well, with the class that's coming up, the question I have for you guys is, what do you think would be better for Pittsburgh to do? You have Mike McCarthy. Would they be okay with tarnishing Mike McCarthy's reputation? Say, Aaron Rodgers, you know what, man? If you want to come back, cool. If not, I think we're going to stick with Mason Rudolph. And they just take their medicine, eat the poop sandwich, and move on, and then have a potential great draft pick in a draft that is stocked with quarterbacks. Instead of playing this ring around the rosy with, Russell Wilson, maybe Justin Fields, maybe Aaron Rodgers, maybe someone else, maybe anyone else, please, someone.
How long did they let Roethlisberger go beyond when they should have? Like, they hung on to him for way too long. It's just, it's what they seem to do. It's how they seem to operate. Unless there's going to be a substantial tone shift from ownership, I don't think they're going to eat the poop sandwich.
It's just this lack of proactive action for the sake of base level competitiveness, right? Like
one large dookie soup.
Well, if you're a Steeler fan, maybe that's what you want out of 2026. Because you got to be so sick of this Groundhog Day year after year of, we know we're going to be at a certain level, but the ceiling is way too close to the floor. As high as the floor is, the ceiling is too close to it.
So should they do, there's multiple ways to tackle a rebuild. You can go all the way in, which the Jets kind of did last year and partially this year. Trade away your star players, accumulate ammo for the draft, and just say, you know what, we're going to stink, but we're going to stink for now. We're going to have the picks to be good later. Or you just grind it out and hope that you can turn it around. You can find value in those late 20 first-round picks. You can hit free agency hard. You can change the culture. It doesn't seem like they are privy to do it the front way.
Have they ever done it in that way?
No.
I don't think, never.
No.
Never.
Ben Roethlisberger was the 11th overall pick in the draft.
Yes.
Do you guys know the last time they picked in the top 10?
You've told us this before, but remind me.
They had to trade up to the 10th overall spot to draft Devin Bush.
That's right.
Never get those opportunities.
When's the last time they legitimately had a top 10 pick because they were one of the 10 worst teams?
It does not feel like in my entire adult lifetime the Pittsburgh Steelers have picked in the top 10.
Not since Mike Tomlin was the head coach.
Yeah, courtesy
definitely
of
not.
natural causes, right? He's always had a winning record as an NFL coach. So it does bring about a discussion of, is that the most effective way to jumpstart a rebuild?
Their last losing season was 6-10 in 2003.
And so who was the coach?
Would have been Cowher, right? Yeah.
What year was that, you said?
2003.
03. So I'm not sure what pick they had in the...
In 03, they picked 16th. So...
What? Oh, well, okay, but in 03, they won 6 games, which led them to having the number 11 pick in the 04 draft, which they used to select Ben Roethlisberger.
Right.
So even then, not a top 10 pick.
Plaxico Burress in 2000.
That's their last top 10 pick?
They picked 8th overall.
They were coming off another 6-10 season in that 2000 draft. Wow.
So they've never done it that way, and they have had. So how many? Roethlisberger won 2.
That's so crazy.
Tomlin won. So Roethlisberger won 1 with Cowher and 1 with Tomlin.
Before that, you'd have to go to 1989 when they took Tim Worley 7th overall. They are insane.
Dude, 26 years of not picking in the top 10 because of not being one of the 10 worst teams in the NFL is insanity. I mean, that has to be the longest streak of any team, right?
Yeah, I would have to imagine.
To be.
So you could say, well, they haven't had to do it. So what's to force them to do it? What's to show them that their way of doing things is not the best possible way to do things? Because they are of above average competence as a franchise, right?
Oh, yeah.
You trust the Pittsburgh Steelers. I understand that winning more games than losing games is no longer enough, and that they have not won a postseason game in, it's more than 10 years, right? It's 10 years since their last playoff win.
2016.
So you have to figure out where the balance is in that. Do you have to absolutely bottom out? Does that guarantee, does going in the complete opposite direction of your franchise's DNA for almost its entire modern era existence, does that give you the spark to win another championship? And is that sustainable? Is it sustainable? I don't know what the right answer there is. I'm inclined to think the Pittsburgh Steelers are smarter than the vast majority of teams doing this, so let them do things their own way. But I get it if I'm a Steelers fan looking around and saying it's not good enough. They don't win of consequence anymore.
Just probably makes it just easy for apathy to set in at some point, right?
I think they already are.
Just running in place.
I'm trying to think of a team that even did the rebuild through without sacrificing being competitive. Like the closest I could get to would be the Kansas City Chiefs, and they still had to move up to 10 to take Patrick Mahomes. It's the only reason they got there. Plus, having really successful and albeit lucky drafts where Tyreek Hill in the 5th round, 6th round, wherever he went out of West Alabama, like they still got lucky as hell.
Yeah, Travis Kelce wasn't a first-round pick.
Right. I think he was a 3rd-round pick out of Cincinnati, maybe?
That sounds right. So, and they did bottom out, right? Like Mike Borgonzi's first year, they were coming off a 2-win season. They were one of the worst clubs in football. And then I think the following year is when they picked Eric Fisher, if I remember correctly. With the number 1 overall pick, that was the 13 draft.
I think Fisher was 14.
Fisher was 14. Either way, so that was right around like they're bottoming out. So they did have to bottom out. They went through a couple of different coaches and quarterback situations.
Oh, they were awful.
Before they finally landed on Andy Reid, right? What was the best thing about the Chiefs? Like Dwayne Bowe?
They were awful. I mean, when Brian Dable was there as the OC, I think they won 2 or 3 games that year.
I got it. They don't even have to do anything. You just wait. Wait till after this year is over, and then a great quarterback is hitting free agency.
Give us a hint.
We'll talk about it next.
Is there a theme to the music today?
What do you mean?
Are you in a like an
bangers?
80s hair metal type of mood?
I found this really good playlist, and I've just been jamming to it all day. It's only 18 songs, but I just keep hammering them. Can't find it anymore.
Where, on Spotify?
Yeah. I'm a Spotify guy. Did not use Apple Music. That is for elitist.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Spotify is the everyman music channel.
I tried Apple Music, and I just hated it.
Oh, see, I'm the exact opposite. I've tried so hard to figure out Spotify, and I'm, like, confused by it.
What? How could you be confused? It's so user-friendly. It's like I work for them.
Yeah.
And the interface is just so user-intuitive.
Robert's like coding for Spotify as a side hustle.
Probably.
I love you, Spot. What is so hard about it? Apple Music just looks
so you can share playlists on Spotify?
Yeah, you can send them to someone. Here, I'll make
Who sent
one.
you this playlist?
No, I just found it. I was just looking, perusing.
You didn't have to submit a Freedom of Information Act
No
to get your
FOIAs.
hand?
No FOIAs.
No FOIAs?
No. Just it coincided with a very difficult part of one of my friends' lives. The date that this playlist was added. Playoffs were not involved in the circumstance.
Well, they were until they weren't, famously. 615-737-1045 is the number. Somebody said, does Buck not know? Yeah, no, that's the bit that we're doing. Thank you for keeping up with the show. It's so stupid. Anyway, you did tease that the Steelers could be in quarterback luck if they waited until 2026.
Oh, boy.
The end of 2026 to sign a pending or upcoming free agent. And you said that the audience would find out next. Who are you talking about?
Well, when you look at the situation we talked about the Steelers being in quarterback purgatory, never bad enough to get a top 10 pick, never good enough to win the big one, they have to get creative. They have to find all-pros and contributors under rocks and leave no surface unsearched. I don't think they have to look any further than the AFC North, where Deshaun Watson is a free agent after this year. You know, massage the cap a little bit, figure out how the roster works out, get the kinks out, and then bring him in. Former All-Pro. Quarterback that they would never have a chance.
How long do you have to be removed from All-Pro before we stop calling you former All-Pro?
You'll never be you will always be a former All-Pro.
It's like Lawan. Lawan is clinging to that 3-time Pro Bowler thing, no matter how many PED suspensions he's removed from.
That's like being like, for student council, that's like being like a representative. Like, oh, you weren't the president or vice president. No one cares about Pro Bowls. It's All-Pro. That's all we care about.
They used to mean something.
They used to. Now they're just used to get players infinitely more money on fifth-year options that don't mean anything. But
you can't.
Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowler.
You can't shut up. You can't seriously mean one that another team would consider signing him to starting quarterback caliber money.
Have you seen him work out lately? He looks good. He looks good. If I needed a quarterback, I would go after him. I don't, but if I did, I would go after him. What, son? Bring in Deshaun. Come on.
What, son?
You like that?
It's such a bad joke by you.
Don't underestimate teams' quarterback desperation. Don't do it.
I agree with you, but like I just can't imagine that he's going to get another job after this. In what reality, if we're talking about things that are realistic, there's no way that he just comes back like nothing ever happened, right?
He's the starter this year, right?
No, I know. But he was the starter his last season too, and he was a disaster.
I mean, is that assumed that he's going to start for Cleveland?
They talked about it being an open competition.
Between him and who?
Shedeur.
Stop.
Stop what?
Are we going to entertain the idea of Shedeur Sanders being a starting caliber NFL quarterback?
Are we going to entertain the idea of Deshaun Watson being a starter caliber?
Yes, because he's paid the way that he is paid, for no other reason.
But if we're talking about performance, what about Deshaun Watson in the Browns experience leads you to say, well, yeah, he's got to be your starter? Like that, Shedeur Sanders is the one that's actually played recently and did some good things on the back end of last year's, trying to take a leap in year 2. But to sit here and say that either of them should just be handed the starting job, like, no, that's one of the few teams that may actually have a legit competition for a starting quarterback.
Man, what a weird job for Todd Monken to take to try and figure out that quarterback situation. That comes with so many different just booby traps of conversation, right? With Shedeur and doing, his antics, whether you consider them just immaturity or whether you consider them to be something more problematic, like his silent press conference. You remember that, where he's just mouthing answers to questions instead of actually giving any kind of answer, instead of just no commenting things. And then you have Deshaun Watson hovering over all of this, just like a bad stink. Like, just he's toxic on so many levels. And he's just going to come back in and like nothing's wrong. He's going to compete for a starting quarterback job again.
For what it's worth, I don't think that you could truly evaluate Shedeur last year under the circumstances he was in. I think this year you definitely can. Like, he has an NFL wide receiver room. He'll have plenty of time to prepare. He's not going to be splitting reps or no excuses. I mean, not splitting reps to the degree he was last year. If it truly is a quarterback battle, then he and Deshaun, I imagine, will be splitting them 50-50. But if you're Todd Monken, I mean, he has no allegiance to either one of these players. Why not just come in eyes wide open? I mean, they probably brought him in there with the understanding, hey, we know this team's going to suck. We know it's going to suck. Just figure out if either one of these dudes are worth anything to us in the next year. And if you do that and you keep Myles Garrett happy and we go into 2027 with good draft picks and we're cool with that.
Rinse, repeat, the Browns experience. But there is a reality in which Shedeur Sanders gives the Browns a better chance to win than Deshaun Watson, right? Like, that is
sure. Like the last
possibility.
The last season that I saw Deshaun play, the Titans, I think, lost to the Browns. That was the Myles Garrett, Andre Dillard game.
Yep.
In 23, he started out 5-1 before he got hurt.
But I mean, the level of play was just. I don't know if you can bring up the numbers of him during that 5-1 start, but he was kind of nightmarish.
He was good against the Titans.
61%.
Yeah, but even then he had that weird backwards throw that ended up being a fumble. Like, I wouldn't call him good. He was good enough to win that day.
No season in Cleveland has been as good as a single season as he was in Houston. We can agree on that.
For sure.
In the year he started 5-1, 61% completion percentage, 1,100 total yards, 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 1 rushing touchdown.
Puka on the FNM Bank chat says Brown's going to suck for Manning. Maybe Marshall Manning.
Them
competing for a starting job at Baylor School this year.
They've got so many quarterbacks.
That dude's going to be coming out there, still going to be tanking for quarterbacks.
Something has to be said about the Browns being the antithesis of what the Steelers are as far as like a building team goes, where the Browns have had the luxury of picking in the top 10 almost every year virtually, and they've still never been able to put together a good team. But this Browns team, is low-key stacked. Like, offensive power, defense just continues to get better. The last 2 drafts, and it remains to be seen. We hadn't seen any of these guys take a snap in the NFL, but it remains to be seen. The Browns added an incredible amount of talent with their first 4 picks this year. I would expect the Browns to be a lot in the form of the Cardinals of last year, where feisty, fun, actually have a chance to win, but maybe die on the doorstep right before getting to the house.
McCoy tweets us and said, Apple Music if you care for the audio quality or want to download music from the internet and put it on playlists with your Apple Music. Spotify if you really care about your favorite influencer's workout playlist. Is that an accurate representation?
What? You can download music off of Spotify as well.
I'm just reading a tweet.
Well, he's grossly uninformed and you're spreading misinformation. So who's at fault? Also, I love my influencer playlist, and you can leave me alone, buddy.
What's your favorite influencer playlist?
I don't have one. I was being facetious.
So I want to swing back around to this Carnell Tate conversation that we were having earlier in the show. And we talked about the draft in which Carnell Tate was taken. What was the general theme or consensus around this year's draft class? there weren't a ton of special players, special athletically, special from a trait standpoint.
One large dookie.
Okay, that seems a little extreme.
People are comparing it to the 2013 draft. So I mean,
which is one of the worst drafts that we've seen.
Right.
Do you think that's a fair comparison? I think that is a bit extreme.
I do think that's a fair comparison.
Okay, explain.
When you look at the draft on day 2, day 3, I put something in there from Seth Walder of ESPN where he took the biggest reaches of day 1 and day 2, sent it to general managers and asked them to give this an A, not a reach at all, a B, a slight reach, but bigger in NFL circles with NFL decision makers than it is with the public, or C, total reach. And a lot of the grades he gave players that were perceived to be reaches weren't. So NFL teams were higher on them than the public were. But that also tells you the lack of talent, where the difference between the outside perception, the outside consensus board of all the mocks and whatnot, and the league, of those 5 picks, 3 of them were deemed to be okay. Jadarian Price was the one that gets brought up as he was bigger in league circles than he was in the public. But Caleb Douglas, the Texans' first-round pick, Rutledge, like a number of players on there were still perceived as being players that were reached on. If you go to day 3, there were guys that I thought would potentially never be drafted. My joking submission for Jim Wyatt's mock draft roundup, Max Bredesen, fullback.
He got drafted. Vikings.
He got drafted.
Vikings.
He got drafted.
I saw him.
He's a fullback. They labeled him as a tight end to make it work. He's a fullback. He got Willie.
I did the Leo DiCaprio meme. I pointed at the television in the draft room.
If Willie Lampkin was in this draft, he would have been a 4th round pick. He went undrafted last year. The talent level is not the same. I'm getting frustrated even talking about it.
Okay, it's okay.
You're right.
It's still a lot of fun.
Like, think about, and we do this obviously every year, but the amount of players that are likely to be coming out in the 2027 draft, how many of them would have been taken before almost anybody we talked about in regards to the Titans, Jeremiah Smith? Hell, Arch Manning. I mean, where does Arch Manning go in this draft?
Orlovsky said he would have been the number 1 pick.
Oh, let's not go off his perception.
But I think there is.
You have to stop hating this man.
I don't.
He can't hurt you anymore.
I don't. He can hurt me. He could reply to a text every once in a while and come on the show.
All right. I'm sure because of all the glowing things you said about him here recently.
Yeah, I'm sure he's really honed into what I think about him. When he comes on here, I'll go, "Love you, Dan."
Buddy, it
just
sounds
like the rest of them.
Sounds like he reads his mentions.
I don't. If you think I tweet at people to leave CVS receipts of my trail marks, you're nuts, dude.
So, if this is one of the worst drafts in the modern era by talent that was available, and the Titans spent the 4th overall pick on the best wide receiver available, you have people like Trevor Sikkema saying, okay, wasn't the best player, wasn't the direction I would have gone, but I get it. You have a lot of people who support the pick. I know Mina has talked about this publicly. I know a lot of people said they were always, Dan Graziano, I think, was one of the most on or in tune with the direction that they were heading. I think right before the draft, he put out something that said they were either going to go the best wide receiver or the best edge available. They went with the best wide receiver. It's also counterintuitive to what basically all of us thought a Robert Saleh coach team was going to do, right? We looked at the staff, we looked at the head coach and said, defense. That guy's going to take one of these linebackers. And so they did something that none of us expected them to do, which is just get a starting caliber option for their young quarterback heading into his 2nd year to best support him getting back to baseline competitive, not winning. They're not winning the Super Bowl in 2026. Nobody's drunk enough or dumb enough to believe that based on how much more this team has to do. But they can get back to, essentially fighting weight with a couple of the moves that they made here. So by that judgment, is there also a conversation about Cam Ward that way in his draft class, where he's not going to be thought of as Joe Burrow? I think there was some debate as to who among the draft nicks, the draft analysts, which prospect you would have liked better coming out between him, Ward, and Mendoza. A lot of people are always going to compare the quarterback caliber of a draft class to the 2 previous drafts, right, where 6 of them went in the first round and trying to slot, okay, where would Mendoza go in that draft? Where would Cam Ward go in that draft? Is there a bar that needs to be lowered for the kind of caliber number 1 overall pick that Cam Ward is and the caliber number 4 overall pick that Carnell Tate is when we're talking about these two players? Because they're not Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that they can't be good. That doesn't mean that they can't, that Tet McMillan isn't a fair bar with Bryce Young as a number 1 overall pick, an embattled number 1 overall pick, albeit, but one that just made the playoffs. Like if Cam Ward goes 8-9 in his third year and Carnell Tate is a 1,000-yard receiver in that same year, Titans make the playoffs in a bad division, is that sufficient? Are they on track?
Yeah, I think most would.
I would agree.
Would say, yeah, that's pretty on track.
And you would look at the upside of Ward versus the upside of Bryce Young and say, okay, I think Cam Ward's got a better chance to do something more beyond this. He might not. We don't know. He might not get to this point. But I'm just trying to figure out what a fair barometer for Carnell Tate, a top 4 drafted wide receiver, and Cam Ward, a number 1 overall pick, is without a fan base that's very eager to protect Cam Ward against any level of criticism whatsoever, while still not, they want him held to a certain standard, but if you get too critical on that standard, then they start to get defensive, like any fan base around a number 1 overall pick at quarterback would.
Around any young, promising quarterback would, yeah.
I don't fault them. I'm just trying to understand, like, okay, what's fair here?
But we can have some, I think there's space to hold Carnell Tate and Cam Ward to a high standard. A lot about the success of the Titans rides on the connection of those two players. Obviously, with the investment that they've made, we can do that without holding them to the standard of Burrow and Chase, who, when they are on, are probably the best quarterback receiver duo in the NFL that have literally done it together since they were winning a national championship at LSU.
Even just talking about his rookie year, because his rookie year is, unattainable. Yeah. Jamar Chase.
I guess Chase wasn't playing during that national championship season, but you get what I'm saying.
The whole point is they did play together in college. Like, it did matter. That was the logic behind Tua and Waddle. Like, teams have tried this and had success with it. So there is something to that they had an extra level of connectivity coming in. And again, Chase is just a higher level. That's the most extreme version. That's the unattainable version. And I'm not.
What did Jamar Chase do his rookie year? Like 1,400 yards?
He started all 17 games. I believe he had 1,400 plus yards. I want to say he had like 180 targets.
And he had to learn how to catch the football in preseason again. You guys remember that?
That's right. That's right.
He was like, the balls are different in the NFL. Everybody was like, Jamar Chase is going to suck. That dude forgot how to catch.
He couldn't catch a ball.
Just comes out there and he's just a fire-breathing dragon.
We just need to be, because it is our job to have opinions on it, but I think it's also our job to affect the way that we talk about it in perception. I just don't think any of this is black and white. All of it is gray. To compare him to any other tandem is tough to do because, sure, you could compare it to Bryce and Tet, but Bryce was in his third year. His second year with a new head coach and a new offensive system. Cam Ward is going into his first year with a new offensive system, and he has never played with this guy. So it's tough to do the Joe Burrow comparison. The lame thing to do is say, I want to hold my opinion of what the expectations are until I see them practice together, until we are out there at training camp and we get to look at it. But that's not what our job entails. We have to have an opinion now. So it's a tough position for both parties to be in.
Yeah, the easy thing to do there is beat your chest and say, no, they're the number 1 and number 4 pick. They should be the best quarterback receiver tandem in the NFL. But that just ignores a lot of context. You just need them to be good right now.
I genuinely don't want to do what you're saying, though. Like, I'm not trying to do that. What I'm trying to figure out here is, as a part of the equation of, is Cam Ward the kind of difference maker and Carnell Tate the kind of difference maker that you need the number 1 and number 4 overall picks in respective drafts? There's nothing the Titans could do about the drafts that they got the number 1 and number 4 pick. Their luck fell where it did, and these are the selections that they had to make. There's no conversation about opportunity cost for Cam Ward or Carnell Tate. Titans had the number 1 overall pick last year. They took the best available quarterback. Titans had the number 4 overall pick this year. Took the best available skill position player for the young quarterback. So it's not the context is absolutely required. But the larger conversation, and this is as a data point in trying to figure out, okay, are they the difference makers that a number 1 and a number 4 overall draft pick for a franchise should be? Or is there going to be some level of conversation about, no, they're not quite there. and they're different than your average number 1 and number 4 overall pick at these respective positions, and you're just going to have to do more to help them. That's okay, too. It's just all a part of figuring out who are these guys and how much better can they make your franchise as this thing moves along.
Right, and I think that's what we figure out the most about Cam Ward this year. This year will be a huge story as to whether he develops and continues to grow and is someone that can elevate or not. But when we say, the expectation for a 1 and 4, Cam was a number 1 quarterback in a weak quarterback class. Carnell Tate was the number 1 wide receiver in a weak wide receiver class. I don't think it's fair to ask, are they the difference makers they should be? Because those classes were not created equal. Those classes are not the same that when Joe Burrow came out or when Jamar Chase came out. So it's just different. Like, it's not cool to say time will tell because we're supposed to have answers or opinions. But, like, I genuinely believe that. I don't know what Cam Ward is. I definitely don't know what Carnell Tate is. But expectations should be somewhat high, but also that's the problem with expectations. It's the thief of joy. Where if we come into this early, Carnell Tate has to have 1,000 yards. Carnell Tate has to have 7 touchdowns. Then he has 900, or he has, who was the first-round pick? Roma Dunze. He has a Roma Dunze-like season, 800 yards and X amount of touchdowns. Is that enough? Like, as soon as you start putting numerical values of what they should do, it's tough for them to overcome that.
Sure, and we'll wrap it up with this. The only reason I think it's a conversation worth having in the first place is they have to get back to a competitive NFL standard that they have lacked here for several years. And so we have to hold them and the players that they add to this roster to a certain standard of achievement as to how it will be or how they will go about getting this thing back to a place where it's sustainably competitive. And are they the pieces capable of doing that? That's all it is. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. Last call for phone calls. If you got them, we'll wrap up the show coming up next. No, you're serious? This is on the playlist? No. I thought you were making a dumb joke during the commercial break. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Robert found a random playlist on the internet on Spotify from a user that apparently no longer exists that we have been playing throughout the course of the show. Pink played a show at Geodis, and I'm sorry that I missed it.
Dude,
I feel like that's a great live act.
Her shows are crazy.
She does a bunch of basically aerial acrobatics.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Throughout the course of that? How did that work at Geodis? You didn't go to that, did you?
I have not been to a concert at Geodis yet.
You didn't go
guys
with
have.
us?
No, I was not at that.
It was just you and me and Cheyenne and that woman that you hated.
Yes.
Tyler Childers show.
She was a rude woman. Was not a fan of her. Glad you kicked her to the curb.
Oh
What was I about to say? Dude, Pink, Gwen Stefani, Fergie, and
Fergie?
and Buck Cherry.
No, one of those things stands out as not being like the other.
Don't.
Are you hating on Fergie?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, come on, man.
Big Girls Don't Cry?
One Bad National Anthem does not wipe away the hits that came from that one album.
I had like 3 hits on that one album.
No, and 3 hits on one album, one is a crazy hit rate.
That's a pretty good hit
London
rate, man.
London Bridge,
Big Girls-
Fergalicious.
Big Girls Don't Cry.
Big Girls Don't Cry.
The Glamorous.
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 Banger.
And- All right.
That album, if I had to guess, probably went quadruple platinum.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, I mean, I don't want to disparage. Who was the guy that came and talked to your DARE class, Lucas? Taboo?
No.
I don't want
When I was in high school, I interviewed Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas because they were doing this like tour.
No.
Where like,
of all the obscure band members
Dude, I can't remember what it was called, but there was this like tour where like this little group of artists was going from high school to high school, and our high school got picked, and Drake Bell was the headliner, and we were all so pumped just to hear the Drake and Josh song live. Like, you kidding me? And like the day of, we all learned that he had to bail because his house was getting foreclosed on in L.A., and so he couldn't show up. So Taboo, who was going to be there anyway, was kind of the headliner. And the journalism class got to go on his tour bus and sit and like interview him and talk to him. But yes, the least well known member of the Black Eyed Peas. I interviewed when I was like 16.
Lucas gets to ask a question. He's like, "Yes, you, high schooler with the fat ass."
I had a buzz cut too. Or it was like a mohawk thing. It was it was an initiation thing for the soccer team. Like when
You're getting hazed?
Like you had to cut your hair a certain way. Like the seniors.
Hazing. Yeah, I'm familiar.
hazing.
Yeah. Like the when you like for varsity, the seniors would get to do whatever they wanted with your hair. That was kind of the whole deal. So I had like this buzz cut mohawk thing going on. Yeah. So Taboo, what would you say is your favorite thing about being a Black Eyed Pea? But
I can't think of anybody less equipped to pull off a mohawk.
Or a buzz cut. Fergie also gets credit for the Black Eyed Peas catalog.
She should.
A critical part of the Black Eyed Peas.
But we're not talking about her. We're not talking about her venture with the Black Eyed Peas. We're talking about her as a solo act. She has 4 hits.
No, hang on a second. Hold on just a minute.
This is like trying to sell me on Iggy Azalea.
That is so disrespectful to compare Fergie. Fergie's impact on music. Iggy Azalea could only dream.
Same thing.
Okay, the Duchess.
Same thing.
The Duchess took over in 2005.
It just makes me think of Wolf of Wall Street.
What did it go? Did you see 3 number 1 hits off that album?
That's
by the way,
crazy. That's a crazy hit rate. And then she
number
had
1 hits.
Yeah, then she did nothing after that.
You don't have to.
Except mangle the national anthem.
She only had 2 solo albums. Period. That's crazy. That's a great hit rate. And then what she did with the Black Eyed Peas, we don't need any Fergie slander here.
Do you guys have Wet n Wild here? It's like a water park.
Oh, sure.
I didn't know Fergie partnered with Wet n Wild in 2012. Our Wet n Wild was not turned into Fergie. I'm upset about that.
No, I've never heard of Wet n Wild.
It's just like any
Nashville
kind of
Shores?
Yeah, basically, except for they have some crazy slides. I was terrified to
People
do that.
offended that I compared Iggy Azalea to Fergie.
It's a ridiculous comparison.
She didn't put out another album. This is how good the Duchess was. She didn't put another album out until 2017 with Double Duchess.
Yeah, but
over a decade later.
Was there anything on that 2017 album?
Who cares? She put out the Duchess, dropped the mic, and said, I'm going to go form...
No, she didn't drop the mic. She picked the mic up again in 2017 and said, I'm back for more cash.
She burst onto the scene with Elefunk, with the Black Eyed Peas.
Great album.
Okay. So that's a really good album.
Elite album. And then said, let me go do my own solo thing. Just 4 number 1 hits. And then go back to the Black Eyed Peas and put out banger after banger. And then, she tried to have like kind of a second act. Who cares? I'm going to tear her down for a bad national anthem in a 2017 album.
Come on.
Ridiculous.
She made eyebrow piercings cool.
Oh, no, Christina Aguilera.
Oh, I forgot about her.
It probably wasn't just eyebrows.
I need to stop looking up female acts at work. They're going to be like, why is he
Buddy,
keep searching?
You Googled the background of a gentleman's club to Photoshop a picture of Lucas's ass.
I typed gentleman's club background photo.
Slay in our group text goes, he's looking back at that thing.
Okay. Does this happen to y'all in that group text where I won't get anything and then suddenly I have 30 messages?
Yeah, Slay.
It's like in the snap of a finger.
Slay has an Android.
It's ridiculous. I feel like I get all the messages like 10 minutes after they happen, and it happens all at once. It's damn green text.
Hey, don't take it up with us. Take it up with him.
I've been trying to get Slay on an iPhone gang for forever. I feel like that's been going on since I started working here.
It's him, Teron Davenport, and Zach Lyons. They're the 3 people in my life who I would text on a regular basis that have Androids, and it makes me insane. And what's worse is Teron has like multiple iPhones for work. And he's like, it cracks me up. It's like dealing with your parents. There's like certain functions on the iPhone that are very standard for anybody. A child could do this. And Teron is flummoxed by the technology of the iPhone.
He's not using a Bitmoji.
I wonder how Fergie's doing on Spotify these days.
Weird Al or Fergie? Who's got more streams?
Oh, it's definitely
It's Weird Al.
Well, hold on.
It's Weird Al.
Hold on.
Who did we do this with? Weird Al and who? Like Skrillex or something?
No, it was
Skrillex clean.
I tried to tell you, idiots.
Fergie has 14.3 million monthly listeners.
Okay, and Weird Al?
Probably like 6.
Weird Al has 1.2.
Yeah, struggling. What's Kid Rock at? Kid Rock or Fergie?
That's who we did it with. Kid Rock or Weird Al?
No,
we were
was
doing
different.
Kid Rock or Shakira.
Kid Rock has 6.6 million monthly listeners.
How? When is the last time Kid Rock put out music?
I got some.
He's had a bit of a resurgence.
Cowboy.
Well, yeah, but not for music.
Shakira,
No,
80.9 million.
It doesn't matter. She's
80.9
It doesn't
million.
matter. That's the end of the show. We need to pack this up.
The disrespect.
You know what? 5 hits. London Bridge. London Bridge is a good one by Fergie. Well
So
done by
good.
her. That is going to do it for us today. Mercifully, if you missed any of it, check out the podcast. Get your install live tickets at 1045thezone.com.